Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto becomes the Supreme King. Highschool DxD Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for Part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. It was a lovely morning in the town of Kuoh. The streets could be seen full of people who are trying to make their way to their jobs, or in the case of one blonde-haired male with whisker marks on his cheeks, who is barely trying to make his way to another boring day at the famous high school of Kuoh Town. Kuoh Academy. This school used to be an all-girls school until 3 years ago, when it was announced that Kuoh Academy was turning co-ed. The blonde teen wanted to skip another week of school, but to his misfortune, he had to go, or he would get after-school detention for a week and a nice boring pep talk of why he should come to school by the student council president, who is very strict when it comes to school, and that would be so troublesome for him. It has been 2 years since I came to this world and there hasn't been any sign of my chakra or karama, and the other bijou, thought the blonde in his way to Kuoh Academy. The name of the blonde male with whiskers was Naruto Uzumaki, and he came to this world after he had been sucked into a black hole when he defeated Kaguya Otsutsuki. Flashback 2 years ago, a 16-year-old Naruto had been fighting against Kaguya Otsutsuki. He had been in a battle with her for 3 days non-stop with the power that Hagoromo Otsutsuki had granted him after he had died from getting his bijou extracted from him. The sage appeared inside his mindscape and granted him the yang side of his power. Right now Naruto was in his 6 paths chakra mode. Damn it, said Naruto as he tried to think of something to seal her away, and suddenly an idea popped in his head, and he immediately started to gather chakra in his right hand to make his final attack on Kaguya. He had finally finished gathering his chakra and said Senpo, Jiten, Raisin Shuriken, and threw it at her, hitting her and immobilizing her. He dashed towards her and touched her by accident, making her blush crimson. She felt that her chakra was starting to deplete, so in one desperate move, she created a truth-seeking orb that was big enough to destroy the dimension they were fighting in. She motioned it to come down on him to at least take out Naruto, but in the process, he released Kurama and the other bijou to help him out to take out the truth-seeking orb that was coming their way. All the bijou throw their bijudama at the orb, and Naruto created several Raisin Shuriken to at least do some damage. In the end, there was a collision of power that disrupted the time and space and created a black hole that started to suck everything in. Naruto opened his eyes and saw that he was in some kind of void, and he looked around to see if Kaguya was with him, but he didn't see her, so he assumed that she was sealed away. But in reality, Kaguya was in somewhere else. She opened her wide eyes and saw that she was in some kind of room, but couldn't make anything out because the room was dark. She heard a growl coming from the right, so she turned to see what it was, and what she saw was a giant saber-toothed tiger with golden lines. "Well, what do we have here?" said the saber-toothed tiger. "Who are you?" asked Kaguya. "It's impolite to demand my name before introducing yourself," said the saber-toothed tiger. "I'm Kaguya Otsutsuki, and who may you be and where am I?" asked Kaguya. "Well, Kaguya, I'm Rayleigh, the Supreme King, and you're inside my host with me," said the Supreme King. "Your host?" said Kaguya. "Yes, indeed. I can see that the evil energy that was controlling you is gone," said Rayleigh. "Yes, I feel like myself again," said Kaguya. "My host was the one who freed you from that evil energy in you, and in the process you were sucked into his body," said Rayleigh. "Sucked in? How?" asked Kaguya. "Come, follow me. I will show you what happened and who is my host," said Rayleigh, getting up and walking to the darkness with Kaguya right behind him. Flashback end. Naruto had arrived in Kuoh Academy, and he was walking through the front gate, and rumors could be heard coming from the students around Naruto. "Why is he here? It doesn't matter if he comes to school, he's still a delinquent. The Yakuza boy is here." Naruto ignored them because he was used to the rumor, and it isn't easy when you're a blonde male with cerulean blue eyes and has an appearance of a gangster. He was walking through the hallway to get to his classroom, and in the way, he saw a crowd surrounding the famous One-Samus of Kuoh. The famous One-Samus of Kuoh were Rias Gremri, a buxom red-haired beauty with large and a nice bubble butt, and Akino Himejima, a young woman with long black hair, big and a nice rear. He passed by the crowd ignoring them and made it to this classroom. He went and sat down on the desk that was at the very back of the classroom, and next to the window. He placed his bag down and looked out the window, ignoring the whispers around him, and when the teacher came in the classroom, that was his cue to sleep. Naruto napped through the entire class and lunch had come. He woke up and went to the cafeteria to buy a sandwich, and then went to the roof to eat. Once on the roof, Naruto unwrapped his sandwich and started eating while looking at the antics of the perverted trio, who were peeping through a hole that leads to the changing room of the kendo club. You wonder how he knew they were peeping, because they were giggling like his deceased sensei. Naruto chuckled as he saw the Kendo Club girls coming out with wooden bakens in hand and started to chase them all over the campus, and while screaming and cursing them, Naruto fell to the ground holding his stomach from laughing at the antics of the trio of perverts. Ero-sennin would be proud of them, said Naruto, getting up from the floor and wiping a tear away. Damn, how I wish you were here, Ero-sennin, thought Naruto with a sad smile. The bell rang announcing the end of the lunch break. Well, I guess I will skip the last 2 periods since they don't matter that much, said Naruto, walking down the stairs of the roof to go to his classroom to grab his bag. He arrived in his classroom, and grabbed his bag and left the classroom to go to the gymnasium. Because there was a pool that the swimming team used to practice, but since their practice starts after school, he decided to take a quick dip in the water. He came out of the boys' locker room and dived in. He spent the rest of the school day in the pool chilling without a care. The bell that signalizes the end of the school day had rung and Naruto had to get out of the pool because the swimming team was going to use it, and if they saw him there, he would get in trouble for skipping. So he got out of it, and headed to the boys' locker room and got changed. After that he went home to get something to eat, and to get his apron to go to work because the bills didn't pay themselves. Naruto was awoken by a stray ray of light that had made his way through the blinds and impacted with his eye. He got up and went into the restroom to take a shower, and get ready for another boring day of school. A few minutes later he had come out of the restroom wearing a black blazer with an orange shirt underneath it, and black pants with black sneakers. He grabbed his school bag and before he left, he grabbed a can of Coke from the fridge and left for school. The walk to Kuoh was uneventful because Naruto had his headphones on the entire walk and was jamming to Rocket Queen by Guns N' Roses. He had finally made it to the front gate and was being glared by everyone, so he ignored them, and before he had arrived at the front gate he had turned up the volume to his music to not listen to them. He saw Issei Hayato, a member of the perverted trio, being chased and beaten by the Kendo Club girls for something perverted he did. Naruto just kept walking to his classroom. Once he arrived in his classroom, he went and sat in the same place he sat the previous day and went to sleep. The blonde had woken up for lunch, and he decided to skip school to go work. Right now Naruto was making his way to the Dragon Claw ramen shop, the place he works, that was owned by an older man named Claus. The ramen shop didn't have many customers and he was wondering how the owner kept the place going because the highest number of customers they ever had was 50. He just shrugged it off and kept walking. Naruto had arrived in the ramen shop and he was making his way in through the back door to the lockers for the employees where they could put their stuff up and get changed for work. Naruto walked in and saw the owner of the shop. "Hey old man, how you doing?" said Naruto, greeting the old man with a smile. "Ah Naruto, my boy, you're here early, your shift starts in an hour," said the old man with a kind tone and a smile that reminded him of the third Hokage. Naruto walked to his locker and opened it, and said, "I know old man, but I was bored at school so I decided to skip the rest of the day and come here to work and spend it with you," said Naruto, placing his bag in the locker then closing it. "How many times have I told you to stay in school the whole day and not just for a few classes?" said the old man. "I know Gigi, but my last 2 classes are too boring and besides I already know everything that they are teaching," said Naruto, putting his apron on and going to the front of the shop to see if there were any customers ready to order. He took the order of some customers that had just walked into the shop. Naruto spent the rest of the day working and chatting with Claus. The front gate of Kuoh. Naruto was a few blocks away from the school gate and on the way he saw the perverted trio and a black-haired girl talking on the sidewalk. He just kept walking and when he passed the black-haired girl, he sensed some malicious intent coming off her. He stopped dead on his tracks and turned to look at the girl, who saw him looking at her so she smiled at him. Naruto turned around and kept walking to school. Once he had arrived in the front gate, he stopped for a second to try and figure out why did he sense some malicious intent coming off the girl, but he shrugged it off and kept walking. Weekend. The week had gone by very quickly for our blonde hero, and we could see him sitting on a bench and thinking about what he should do since he had the day off and the sun was starting to set. What should I do now?" said Naruto, trying to figure out what he should do, and his answer came in the shape of a rumble that came from his stomach indicating that he was hungry. "I guess I should get something to eat and then head home and relax." "Yeah, I think that sounds like a plan," said Naruto, nodding in approval to his plans for the rest of the night. He got up from the bench and started to walk to the center of the park. Naruto was walking to the center of the park when he saw Issei with the girl that he saw the other day. Both of them were standing by the fountain, talking to each other, when Naruto heard something that the black-haired girl said that made him go eye wide. With Issei Hayato had been asked out by a girl named Yuma Amano to be her boyfriend. Since Issei wanted a girlfriend badly, he accepted her offer to be her boyfriend. He introduced Yuma to his friends to brag to them that he had a girlfriend and that they're going to go on a date on Sunday. It was Sunday, and the day that Issei had longed for was here, his date with Yuma. They were going to meet up in front of the train station, and Issei had arrived a couple of minutes early to make sure that he wasn't late. He saw a brown-haired girl hand out flyers, and she approached him and handed him one. He grabbed it and looked it to see what it says. Your wish will be granted / You're right. If only that was true, said Issei, pocketing the flyer. Issei, hey, said Yuma, walking up to Issei. Issei turned around and greeted Yuma. Oh cool, you made it. Sorry to keep you waiting, said Yuma, apologizing for taking a bit too long. Nah, it's cool, I just glad that you made it, said Issei. After that, Issei and Yuma went around town to shop and later on to get some ice cream. Later on, Issei was having the best day of his life, and right now he was walking in the park with Yuma. She made a stop in front of the fountain and turned around to ask her date a question. Issei, would you do me a favor? Asked Yuma with a sweet tone. Issei smiled and said, sure, what is it? With a smile. Would you die for me? Said Yuma with a different tone of voice. Issei was taken aback with the question his girlfriend asked. Could you run that by me again? I think I'm hearing things, said Issei, cleaning his ear with his pinky finger. I asked if you could die for me, said Yuma, and suddenly a pair of black feathered wings appeared from her back and her clothes were shredded to pieces, revealing a bikini-like outfit with gloves that ran right up her arm with chains hanging from them, shoulder guard-like on her shoulder with 3 large spikes sprouting from her right shoulder, and black thigh-high heel boots. She made some kind of spear-like object on her hand and threw it at Issei, who was so shocked that he couldn't react, but a blonde blur pushed him out of the way of the spear. Issei got over his shock and saw who was the one that saved him, and it was the famous delinquent of Kuoh, who had fought the entire school and never lost a fight, Naruto Uzumaki. Senpai, what are you doing here? Asked Issei to the blonde male that saved him from getting pierced by a spear-shaped object. I was passing by on my way to get something to eat when I heard this weird chick say something that didn't make sense, and then I ended up here, saving your ass from getting pierced by that spear, said Naruto, not looking at Issei. What did I get myself into? Thought Naruto, looking at the winged raven-haired girl in front of him who was letting off some kind of energy, and it wasn't chakra. A human was able to move fast enough to move that pervert out of the way of my spear, thought Yuma in disbelief at what she saw. Why are you doing this, Yuma? Asked Issei. Isn't it obvious? It's because you are too dangerous to us, answered Yuma. I don't get what the fuck is going on here, but who are they? And how is this pervert dangerous to them? Thought Naruto, trying to figure out what the raven-haired girl meant by us. I don't fucking know what's going on between you two, but all I know is that I won't let you kill the perv, declared Naruto to Yuma, who busted out laughing. You won't let me kill him, but you are a mere human, said Yuma in a mocking tone, and then she said, get serious, boy. All right then, square up, thought, and don't say that I didn't warn you, said Naruto, cracking his knuckles. Then he disappeared in a flash and reappeared in front of Yuma, and delivered a jab to her face, knocking her back and sending her into a tree. Even though I don't have my chakra, my hits are still powerful. I just hate that I didn't start training when I got here, thought the blonde. Issei was shocked at what he saw with his own eyes. He saw that the famous delinquent of Kuoh, the one who picked fights with gangs for fun and never lost a fight, had moved so fast that he couldn't see it, and punched Yuma in the face hard enough to send her flying back. Damn, I didn't know that he was this strong, even though I heard that he never lost a fight, but seeing it in person is a very different thing, said Issei. Yuma got up from the tree that she had been sent to, holding the right side of her face. Ouch, he sure does pack a punch that could even rival Dohnaseek. I need to finish this quickly or I'm going to suffer more of those hits, thought Yuma, getting up and looking at Naruto. Alright then, let's put an end to this because I got things to do and a pervert to kill, said the raven-haired fallen angel, making 2 spears on each hand. She threw one spear at Naruto, which he managed to dodge it but didn't see the other one coming his way. He landed on his right foot and was about to jump away, but at that moment he got a cramp on his right foot, and it disrupted his jump and got impaled by the spear of light. He was sent back by the force of the spear, which sent him into a tree. He could see the raven-haired girl making her way to Issei. Issei saw the blonde delinquent get pierced by the spear of light, and immediately his brain activated his fight or flight instinct. He chose to run, and he did, but he tripped a few steps later and started to crawl. He turned around to see Yuma almost close to him. Why, Yuma? Why? Said Issei, crawling away from her. Don't blame yourself, Issei. It was his fault for giving you that power, said Yuma, making her way towards Issei with a spear on hand ready to kill him. As she got closer to Issei, she could see from the corner of her eye that Naruto was starting to lose consciousness. She smiled at the thought of getting rid of him, but at the same time it was a shame that someone so good-looking like him was going to die. If they would have met in different circumstances, she would have had her way with him, but she shook those thoughts away and focused on killing Issei. She got close to Issei and stepped on his leg to stop him and thrust the spear into Issei. Meanwhile, Naruto was starting to lose his consciousness because he was bleeding out from the light spear that was on his stomach. Shit, am I about to die like this? Not being able to save the life of that pervert or mine? Have I come this low in life? Where I'm not able to save the life of one person or much less mine? No, I have to live, thought the blonde, grabbing the light spear that was in his stomach, and he tried to get it out. But it was embedded too deep in the tree and his strength was starting to leave his body. I know, I have to keep fighting, thought the blonde, and at that moment he felt some kind of energy inside of him like it was calling to him. He didn't waste any time and embraced it because it was either die or find out what that energy was, and if he could use it to save someone's life then he would take his chances. Yuma was looking at Issei, who was barely holding to his life, and smiled. She was about to fly away from the park when suddenly she felt a heavy presence coming from where the blonde boy was. She started to walk towards the direction of the blonde boy, and as she was getting close to him, she was hit by a wave of intimidation that almost made her pass out. Yuma tried to see if he was still alive, but she couldn't see his face because his hair bangs were covering his face. She also noticed that his arms were covered with some kind of reddish-black substance, Luffy's gear for arm and hockey, and he was holding the spear with both hands, and suddenly, the spear broke into pieces, setting the blonde free. Yuma was so surprised that she couldn't move because the blonde boy had smashed the light spear into pieces. Naruto lifted his head to reveal that his eyes had changed from his cerulean blue eyes to pitch black eyes, and he had an emotionless face that scared her. The presence got heavier by 1,000-fold that it froze Yuma on the spot she was. She saw the blonde making his way slowly towards her. He got in front of her and quickly grabbed her by the throat and lifted her up with her feet dangling in the air. "Why did you attack the perv?" asked Naruto with a demonic tone that sent shivers down Yuma's spine. "I was tasked to kill him," said Yuma, barely managing to speak. "Who sent you to kill him?" asked Naruto, squeezing her throat a bit. "I can't tell you," said Yuma, and Naruto applied more force on her throat. "If I tell you I'm dead." Naruto didn't see any deception in her words, so he let go of her and said, "If I see you or hear that you are killing more people, I'll come for you and kill you personally." Yuma just nodded and flew away. There was no sign of Yuma, and Naruto was starting to feel that his strength was starting to leave him once again. His eyes reverted back to their normal cerulean blue, and he dropped to the ground and passed out right there. Shortly after, a red magic circle appeared next to Issei, and through it came Rias Gremory. She looked at Issei and knelt down next to him. "Kaneko-chan was right to say that you had a sacred gear," said Rias. Then she pulled out 8 red chess pieces that looked like pawns out of her skirt pocket. She placed the 8 pieces of chess on Issei's chest and said, "I, Rias Gremory of the House of Gremory, grant you another chance to live, and in exchange, you will serve and protect me." Then the pieces started to glow, and they went inside his body. "Alright, now that is done," said Rias, about to leave, but at that moment she saw Naruto on the ground, barely holding on to his life. Rias walked towards Naruto and knelt next to him and looked at him. "How are you still alive?" said Rias, analyzing his injuries, and she saw that there was some kind of black reddish substance fading from his arm. "Could this be some kind of sacred gear?" said Rias, pulling out a rook piece to see if it accepted him, but nothing happened, so she proceeded to do the same with the knight and bishop, but nothing happened, so she tried to combine the pieces. At first, she tried doing knight and rook and nothing happened, so she did knight and bishop, rook and bishop, but nothing happened. She was tired of trying different combinations and was about to leave when a piece that was different from the rest in color and shape fell out of her pocket, and she remembered the piece that her big brother had given her as a present for her 16th birthday. She went on to try, and the piece glowed and it sunk itself inside Naruto. "Thank you, Oniai-sama," said Rias, looking at Naruto's body. Next day, Naruto opened his eyes and noticed that he was in his room and naked. He sat up and instantly a massive headache came. "Damn, what the hell happened yesterday?" said Naruto, rubbing his temple, and at that moment everything that happened the night before came flashing in. He whizzed and immediately checked his stomach for any signs of a hole, but there was nothing, like the events of the night before were just a dream. The hell, was last night a dream? It felt too real to be just a dream, thought the blonde, and from the corner of his eye, he saw the sheets moving. He lifted the sheet up and saw that Rias Gremory was in his bed with him, and in her birthday suit. Naruto placed the sheet down and thought, "Nope, I must be hallucinating," and lifted the sheet once more, and she was still there. He heard a groan that came from the girl that was lying next to him. She opened her eyes and smiled at him. "Good morning," said Naruto calmly, not showing any emotion. "Good morning," said Rias, sitting up and stretching, giving Naruto a perfect view of her. "What happened last night?" asked Naruto. "You were killed and I revived you," said Rias. So it was real," said Naruto, rubbing his chin. "Yes," said Rias. You are not human from what I can sum. Then what are you? I'm a devil and you are my servant now, said Rias smiling. When Naruto heard that she was a devil, he was kinda taken aback because when someone images a devil they immediately think of a red man with horns, a pitchfork on hand, and a tail, not a sexy girl with big like Tsunade. And also, the events of the previous night were there to clarify things for him. When he really thinks things through, he could see that he has seen and done a lot of things that aren't deemed normal, and the fact that he had a giant ball of fur that was made out of pure chakra stuck inside of him for most of his life. Well, that's a new one, said Naruto calmly, not letting the part that he was now her servant get to him. Indeed, said Rias, getting up from the bed and walking towards the end of the bed, where a chair was that had her clothes neatly folded. How do I know that you aren't lying to me? You look just like a normal human, and devils are supposed to have horns and a tail, asked the blonde, getting out the bed and walking towards a closet and getting some clothes. The red-haired girl just smiled and said, Oh, that's very easy to prove. Then a pair of bat-like wings erupted from her lower back. Humans and devils aren't that different except for the fact that one side only lives for a short period of life and doesn't possess any type of magic, said Rias while putting her bra on. Would you mind helping me with this? Said the redhead, moving her hair out of the way so that Naruto could see what she was talking about. Naruto said nothing and just walked towards her to help her clip her bra. After helping Rias with her bra, she finished getting dressed and said, I have to leave, but you can wait for after school so that I can introduce you to the others and explain things more clearly. Then left, but before taking a pic at the shirtless form of Naruto, and she could see that he has very well-defined body for someone his age. Naruto just watched her leave and left out a sigh. In what kind of mess have I gotten myself in? All of this wouldn't have happened if I didn't try to help that damn pervert, but no, selfless me had to jump in. I seriously hate myself sometimes, said the blonde while putting his shirt on, then leaving his room to make himself something to eat. Kuoh Academy's front gate. After Rias had left Naruto's apartment, he proceeds to make himself something to eat and clean up. And now, he was making his way in through the gate of the school and he could see that the girls were gossiping more than usual. I wonder what is going on. There's more gossip than the usual. I wonder what it is, thought the blonde while walking in the main building, and here was where he found out what the gossip was all about. He manages to hear the conversation that Issei and his friends were having. They were saying that Issei had gone completely insane because he was saying that he had a girlfriend and that he introduced her to them a week ago. So someone erased their memory, huh? Wonder if Rias had something to do with it, thought the blonde, having enough information to know about the gossip that was going around the campus. He had finally made it to his classroom and was about to walk in until a too well familiar voice stopped him right in his tracks. Uzumaki-san, why haven't you been to school lately? Naruto slowly turned around to see that it was Sana Shirtorai, the student council president. She is a young respectable woman with a slim figure with black hair that is styled in a short bob cut and violet eyes. What do you mean, Sana? I have been attending school, said the blonde while sweating and cursing his luck because the person he wanted to avoid the most was in front of him. What do I mean? I mean that you were absent for a whole week without any excuse. Mind telling why you were absent? Asked Sana with a tone that meant that she's serious. Naruto was trying to think of something quick but couldn't think of something, so he just opted to tell her the truth. To tell you the truth, I was absent because I wasn't feeling like coming and I have to take care of some personal stuff that required all of my attention, said the Jinchuriki, kinda making up the last part because there was some truth in it. Busy, huh? I'll accept that excuse, but you owe me 3 days of after-school detention. Sana not giving Naruto any room to argue, so he just let out a sigh. You seriously cause a lot of problems for me, Naruto, said the president of the student council while letting out a sigh. Naruto just chuckled and said, well, it's your job as the president of the student council. With a sheepish smile, Sana just shook her head and went into the classroom with Naruto following right behind her. He went to the back of the room, where a deck was next to the window, and sat down, then fell asleep. Sana saw that, and just shook her head and turned to the front to see that the teacher had just walked in and was about to start the lesson. -8 class later. Poke 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 poke. Poke 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 poke. Okay, I up, said the blonde, raising his head up to see a white-haired girl that he recognized as Kaneko Tuju, the mascot of the school. Kaneko is a petite girl with white hair and gold eyes. What may a first-year student be doing in a 3-year classroom? Asked Naruto, sitting up and stretching his limbs to get rid of the numbness. Rias sent me, said the white-haired girl with a stoic face. Naruto finished stretching and said, I almost forgot about that. Lead the way. Then he got up to follow her. Kaneko just nodded and started to walk with the blonde behind her. During their walk, Naruto could hear some whisper, and they were referring to him because they saw that he was walking with Kaneko. What is he doing with Kaneko? Is he blackmailing her so that she can walk with him? We must defend the poor Kaneko. Those were some of the whispers he could hear, but he paid them no mind because he had other thoughts on his head. I can feel my chakra, but it's not as big as it used to be. Does Rias have something to do with my chakra returning? Occult Research Club. Inside the building of the Occult Research Club, one could hear a shower run and a brown-haired boy of average height trying to sneak a peek. This boy is Issei Hayato, one of the members of the perverted trio and recently turned devil by Rias Gremory. He arrived in the club a couple of minutes ago by someone that Rias had sent for him. Issei was about to see the naked body of the person that was in the shower but stopped when he heard a pair of doors opening and through them came a young woman with a voluptuous figure with long black hair and violet eyes. She was Akino Himejima, a third student in Kuoh Academy and one of the One-Isamas of Kuoh. She came in with a silver tray that had a teapot and cups. She placed the towel on top of the curtains so that person that was in the shower cleaning can dry themselves. "Hello, I'm Akino Himejima," said the black-haired girl with a small bowl to the brown-haired boy. "Hi, I'm Issei," said the boy returning the bowl. "Tea?" said Akino placing the silver tray on a table and offering the boy tea. "Yes sure," replied Issei back. Akino nodded and proceeded to serve Issei some tea, then handing it to him. The curtains of the shower opening revealing a red-haired young woman with a voluptuous figure similar to Akino, but the difference between them was their sizes, with one of them having a bigger bust size. This young woman was Rias Gremory, the leader of the club and the heirs of the Gremory house. "Oh, you're here already?" said Rias, finishing drying her hair. "Yeah, I went to get him right after the bell had rung," said a blonde-haired boy leaving the corner where he was standing. This boy is Kiba Yuto, the knight of Rias Peerage, a second-year student, and the prince of Kuoh. Kiba looked around the room like he was looking for someone. "Kaneko-chan isn't here yet?" "She's usually the first one to arrive," said the blonde boy, noticing that his white-haired friend hadn't arrived yet. Actually, Rias didn't get the chance to finish what she was saying when suddenly she was interrupted by the sound of the doors opening and through them came the white-haired girl that Kiba was talking about with a blonde boy, whose hair color was even brighter than Kiba's own blonde hair. "I sent her to get someone," finished Rias while still recovering from the small jump she when the door was swung open by Kaneko. Issei was the first one to speak. "It's you," said the brown-haired boy while pointing at Naruto, who ignored him and was nonchalantly looking around the room. Seeing that Kaneko had arrived with the person she asked her to bring, Rias decided to get things started. "Now that everyone is here, let's get started with the meeting," said the redhead, finally getting things started. "Hi, my name is Rias Gremory, and here to welcome you to the Occult Research Club," greeted Rias to the two newcomers. "The club is just a fraud because, in reality, we all in this room are devils." As Rias finished saying that, everyone's wings popped out except for Naruto's wings. Rias saw that and decided to talk to him when they are alone. Issei looked around with a surprised face while Naruto just slightly raised his eyebrow and waited for Rias to continue. Seeing that Naruto and Issei had finally composed themselves, mostly Issei because the blonde just slightly raised its brow, decided to continue the explanation. A few hours later, Rias had explained to them about the civil war between the old Satan faction and the anti-Satan faction and the low population that the devils had after the war, so that's when the evil peace system came. She explained to them that they were pawns, meaning the lowest rank, and they were part of a thing called a peerage. Then proceeded to talk about the other two factions, the angels, the servants of God, and the fallen angel, that they were angels that had fallen from grace, and then the sacred gears that God had gifted the humans. After listening to the entire explanation, Naruto was ready to leave because he already had enough lectures for the day. "So you are telling me that I'm part of this thing called a peerage and that I'm your servant?" said the blonde-whisked boy. "Yes, you are part of it, and I'm your king," said Rias, resting her hand on top of her intertwined fingers. "You will be joining us in our after-school club activities every day," said Rias. Naruto didn't think twice and just grabbed his school bag and said, "No, can't do it. It was nice meeting you, but I kindly declined," then left the room, giving them no room to answer back. Rias and the other were taken aback by what the blonde boy had just done. With Naruto was making his way towards his house after leaving the orc room without giving them any chance to talk. He planned to go home and sleep, maybe skip for another week. "Yeah, that sounds like a plan," said the blonde mentally to himself while walking down the street to his house when he suddenly passed a middle-aged man that was wearing a gray trench coat and a fedora. "Isn't it too late for you to be out at this hour, little devil?" said the man, passing Naruto, then stopping a couple of steps away from him. Naruto stopped because he sensed danger coming from the man, then turned to look at the man to see and saw that the man had a spear similar to the one the fallen angel had the night before, but he was blue instead of white. "Walking, and what might a fallen be doing at his time of night?" said Naruto back. "That's very simple," said the man, smiling maliciously. "To kill you," then dashed at Naruto with abnormal speed, That slightly took Naruto by surprise, but then his shinobi instincts kicked in, and quickly dodged to right and got his guard up. Seeing that the blonde devil was able to dodge his attack, the fallen decided to ask him for his name. "Hey kid, what is your name? Isn't it polite to give your name first?" said the blonde, remembering the time Neji asked Naruto's team for his name in the Chunin exams. "Ah, where are my manners?" said the fallen angel. Then he proceeded to take off his fedora. "I'm Dohnaseek. I'm Naruto Uzumaki and the last person that you will see," stated Naruto, very confident, but deep down he knew that it wasn't going to be an easy fight. Dohnaseek just chuckled and put his fedora back. They stared at each other like it was an Old West standoff, and waited for a signal to start fighting. Then a single leaf fell in between Naruto and Dohnaseek. Seeing that, they both rushed at each other with their fists ready to strike. Naruto was the first one to strike, hitting Dohnaseek right on the face and sending his skidding back. After finally coming to a stop, Dohnaseek felt that blood was coming out of his busted lip. He proceeded to whip off, but not before saying to him something. "Damn, Brad has a strong jab." Seeing that he had busted Dohnaseek's lip, Naruto grinned but then felt a pain on the left of his stomach. "How and when did he hit me?" thought the blonde, finally realizing that the fallen angel had hit him with him noticing. "Damn, it hurt as if Sakura had punched me on the stomach," said Naruto to himself while clutching the left side of the stomach. "Fuck, I have to find a way to use the power I used after the fallen chick had stabbed me. Well, Naruto, I'm to have to cut this short because time is up and I have places to be and things to do," said Dohnaseek, making a light spear that was bigger than the normal ones. He threw at Naruto, who was able to dodge it, but he didn't see the second one that was coming his way. The second spear managed to impale him on the stomach, making him spit a big amount of blood. Naruto dropped on his knees, then wholly fell to the ground with a pool of blood surrounding him. "Come on, Naruto, after everything we have survived through and then a stranger managed to put us. This is pathetic, I can't even protect myself," said the blonde, slowly seeing that his vision was getting blurry. Feeling power inside himself, Naruto decided to use it to at least defeat the fallen angel that had just beat the shit out of him. Then suddenly he felt his wound healing and a complete surge of power flowing through his body. Naruto gets up and sees that his arms are clad in some kind of black substance that is emitting power. "Okay, Dohnaseek, let's get the real fight going," said the blonde with newfound determination and a new power that might be his salvation or damnation. Hearing those words, Dohnaseek looked at Naruto over his shoulder and grinned at him. Like a flag was waved down for them to start the fight again. They dashed at each other with abnormal speed, but before Dohnaseek could hit the blonde, Naruto had appeared behind the fallen, then delivered a powerful punch to Dohnaseek's back, sending him flying into a store building. "Sorry to whoever owned that store," apologized Naruto, seeing the destroyed store. Seeing that Dohnaseek was taking his time to get up, he decided to think through what had just happened moments ago. Moments ago, Naruto had seen a glimpse into the future. "Did I see a glimpse into the future? I must be hallucinating," questioned to himself. Finally seeing that Dohnaseek had gotten up, Naruto raised his guard once again. The fallen didn't waste any time and immediately pounced at the blonde with a fist aimed at the blonde's face, but Naruto managed to duck, and quickly spun around with his leg outstretched, kicking the fallen on the side and cracking a few of his ribs. Dohnaseek jumps back to get some distance between the blonde boy in front of him and himself. He clutched the right side of his body, where he was kicked by the blonde. "Damn, this fucking Brad is fast and hit strong," thought the fallen while a drip of sweat was coming down from the right side of his face. He felt the drip of sweat and widened his eyes. "This Brad is making me sweat? No, that can't be true. A simple devil like him can't possibly be making me break a sweat." Dohnaseek mentally told himself in disbelief that a weak devil like Naruto was making him break a sweat. Seeing the turmoil the fallen was having, Naruto decides to burst his bubble. "Hey, are you done having your existential crisis?" said the blonde. Dohnaseek didn't take Naruto's words too well, pissing off the fallen angel more. Having enough, Dohnaseek made a light spear and rushed at the blonde once again. Naruto let out a jab that made contact with Dohnaseek's face, but not having the same effect as his previous hit. He saw that the black substance was starting to disappear. "I have to end this fast." Dohnaseek noticed that Naruto's punches weren't having the same effect as the previous one. He grabbed Naruto's arm and pulled him close to him, and kicked him in the stomach, then jabbed him in the face, sending the blonde flying towards a fire hydrant. Naruto crashed in the fire hydrant, breaking it. He tried to get up but couldn't. The energy that had kept him alive for the past minutes was starting to leave his body. "Damn it, not now," said the blonde himself mentally while trying to get up. Seeing that Naruto wasn't getting up but still conscious, Dohnaseek decides to torture him a bit for wasting his precious time. He turned the light spear into a small knife, then jammed it into Naruto's right shoulder, making the boy scream in agony. He chuckled with a menacing grin on his face. "This what you get for wasting my precious time, you fucking piece of shit," said Dohnaseek, twisting the knife, getting a grunt from Naruto, who was too exhausted and hurt. "It was fun meeting you, Naruto Uzumaki, but this is the real end for you, and I will make sure you don't get up again," said Dohnaseek, pulling the knife out of Naruto's shoulder and aiming it at the blonde's heart. He about to stab him, but a voice stopped him. "Killing a devil that belongs to one of the 72 pillars can cause a major problem for the Grigori," said the voice to Dohnaseek, who stopped just inches away from piercing the blonde's flesh. He looked up to see a red-haired girl and immediately recognized her. "A Gremry," said Dohnaseek, quickly recognizing the girl that had spoken to him. "What is a Gremry doing out at this hour?" asked the middle-aged man while getting up from his squatted position. "I'm here saving my servant that you were about to kill," replied Rias back with a serious tone. Dohnaseek looked down at the blonde boy in front of him, then at the redhead girl. "Keep a tighter leash on your servant." Meanwhile, Naruto was thinking to himself while Rias and Dohnaseek were exchanging words. "Why do I feel so tired? I was only fighting for a couple of minutes. I must have something to do with the power I just used. Just for today, I'll let your servant live, but I pray that we don't meet again, because if we meet again, he's not leaving the battle in one piece," said Dohnaseek, giving them a warning. He let out his wing and flew away, leaving Naruto and Rias alone. She looked at him and said, "You can stop pretending that you can't move." Naruto just let out a sigh and shakily got up with the help of his unharmed arm. She saw his wounded shoulder and got behind him and then started to heal him. Naruto felt the pain that was on his shoulder leaving, then saw Rias behind and asked, "What are you doing?" "I'm healing you, duh," said Rias. "Why?" said Naruto, looking away from her. "Because you're in my peerage, dummy," said Rias. "I don't buy it," said the blonde. "What's not to believe?" "Because you are going to use this excuse to join your stupid peerage and make me your slave," said the blonde, getting up. "Hey, I'm not done healing your wound." Naruto looked Rias over him and placed the bottom of his shirt and tore off a piece of shirt, then tightened around his shoulder blade, where he was pierced. "No, I'm good," said the blonde, then proceeded to leave. "It's going to get infected if you don't let me treat your wound," screamed Rias at Naruto, who was already at a far distance from her. He just kept walking. Rias just stared at the leaving form of Naruto and said in a low voice, "Naruto Uzumaki, you intrigue me. I'm going to find a way to convince you to join my peerage," then left in a magic circle. Naruto's apartment. "I have to find out what that power is, it already saved my ass twice," mentally told himself while going into his room, then this restroom, where he had a first aid kit. He opened it, then proceeded to take off the cloth he had tied around his shoulder blade. After inspecting the wound, he proceeded to clean the wound with cold water and mild soup. Then grabbed a clean towel and applied pressure on the wound. Seeing that the bleeding had stopped, he proceeded to rub some ointment and wrap some bandages to keep germs away. After making sure that the bandages were good and tightened well enough, he went to sleep. Next day, Naruto woke up and went to check on his bandages. Seeing that everything was good, he stepped into the shower to get cleaned up, but with care to not hurt himself more. Minutes later, he came out of the shower fresh and clean. He went into the kitchen and made himself something to eat with the help of his unharmed arm while trying to not move his other arm as much. While eating, he was thinking to himself about the power that saved his ass twice. How was I able to use that power again? Did it have to do with my will? It was active after I had the thoughts of staying alive, thought the blonde while eating his eggs and bacon. I have to look inside my mindscape to see if there is something that helps. He shrugged it off and placed it in the back of his mind for later. Then he picked up his school bag and left his apartment. Kuoh Academy. Once entering the front gate of Kuoh Academy, Naruto saw the perverted trio running away from the girls of the Kendo Club. They were chasing them with wooden swords in hand. They're just like pervy sage. They never learn even if they are beaten to an inch of their lives. Naruto smiled at the resemblance they had with his late sensei. He kept walking and entered the school building, and by the stairs, he saw the people he wanted to avoid the most at this moment. Rias with Sauna and Akino. Rias because of the peerage thing, Sauna because she was the president, and Akino because they weren't on good terms. He tried to sneak around them, and walked up the stairs and managed to get more than halfway up the stairs, but he was caught by someone calling his name. "Good morning, Whiskers-kun." He froze right on the spot he was and slowly turned around to see that it was a smiling Akino who called him. He smiled sheepishly and said, "Good morning, Akino." "Good morning, Uzumaki-san," said Sauna, walking up to the two with Rias behind her. "Oh, good morning, Sauna. I didn't see you," said the blonde sheepishly. "Yeah, or maybe was it that you were trying to sneak around us but got caught by Akino?" said Sauna with a raised brow. "Who? Me? That offends me, Sauna." "Who do you take me for?" said Naruto in a mock-offended tone. "I take you for a guy who doesn't like to come to school and sleeps all day." Naruto just deadpanned because that was fairly accurate. Anyway, I'm glad to see that you are coming to school, said Sauna with a smile. Naruto just scratched the back of his head sheepishly and said, well, I didn't have anything to do at home, so I decided to come. Sauna just shook her head. Well, Sauna, I'll take my leave because my nap is waiting for me and I forgot to mention this. Don't call me Uzumaki-san. I don't like honorifics, just call me Naruto or Naruto-kun, if you like, said the blonde, grinning, then leaving the three girls. Sauna immediately got red and Akino saw that as someone crushing on Whiskers-kun, said Akino teasingly while covering her mouth with her palm. What do you mean, Akino? I don't have a crush on Naruto-kun, said Sauna, quickly defending herself, then blushed even more after processing what she had called Naruto. Oh my Sauna, I didn't know you were the type of girl to have a crush on someone, said Rias, teasing the black-haired girl. Sauna didn't say anything and just pouted, then left. Lunch. Naruto-kun, wake up, it's lunchtime, said a voice to Naruto while shaking him. Iruka-sensei, I wasn't sleeping in your class, I swear, said Naruto while still asleep. Sauna was confused but ignored because the blonde boy was still sleeping. She kept shaking him and he finally woke up. Naruto opened his eyes and saw that it was Sauna who woke him up. Oh hi Sauna-chan. Sauna blushed at the suffix but composed herself. It's lunchtime. She would wake him up from time to time to eat lunch. Thanks for waking me up, Sauna-chan, said Naruto, stretching his limbs and then getting up. Era Whiskers-kun, you're finally up, said Akino walking up to Sauna. Naruto narrowed his eyes and said, what are you doing here, Akino? Ah, that hurt, Whiskers-kun, I'm in your class, said Akino in a mock-hurt tone. Naruto looked at Sauna to see if she was saying the truth. Sauna gave him a nod as confirmation. I didn't notice that you were in our class, said Naruto, relaxing a bit. That's because I sit in the front, said the raven-haired girl, pointing at the very first seat in the front. And you're always asleep in class, so I highly doubt that you notice me. Yeah, my bad, whatever. I need to go eat, said Naruto, about to start walking. What are you going to eat, Naruto-kun? Said the student president. Naruto stopped for a second and thought about it, and then struggled. I didn't bring lunch, so I'm going to the cafeteria to buy something. Well, if you don't mind, I can share my lunch with you and you can join us since I made a little too much, said Sauna, showing him her bento box, which was bigger than a normal one for a girl. Ah, that would be lovely if Whiskers-kun joins us for lunch, said Akino, putting a sweet tone to his nickname, and making a shiver go down Naruto's spine. I don't think that it's a good idea, and besides I don't want to intrude on your business, said Naruto. Come on, it will be fun, Whiskers-kun, said Akino with her bento on hand. Fine, but just this one time, said Naruto, finally agreeing. Akino and Sauna beamed at his answer and smiled. Naruto sat on his seat and Sauna and Akino pulled two other desks and placed them together with Naruto's. Sauna opened her bento and gave Naruto a portion to eat. It's the good, Sauna-chan, said Naruto, enjoying the rice. You think so? Said Sauna with a pink hue on her cheeks and getting a nod from Naruto, who just kept eating. They heard a commotion coming from the hallway and it turned out to be Rias, who was looking for Akino and Sauna. She came into their classroom and saw the two persons she was looking for, eating with her rouge servant. You are having lunch here and didn't invite me, said, walking up to them. We kinda forgot about you, said Akino in a childish tone. Oh well, I'm already here so might as well join you guys, said Rias, pulling a desk and placing it next to Naruto, so she would be next to him. She sat down and started eating with the other two girls. Naruto just kept an eye on her, in case something happened. He remembered that he didn't bring anything to eat either, so he got up and told them that he was going to get a drink. He left the room and noticed that Rias was following him, so he went to a place that was secluded from the other and confronted her. What do you want? Asked Naruto, getting straight to the point. How is your shoulder? It's fine, said Naruto blankly. Is that all you wanted to ask? If so, I'll take my leave, said Naruto, starting to walk away. Wait, let me heal your shoulder. Why? Because I'm your servant. No, because it's my duty as a king. I have already told you that I don't want to be part of your peerage, so leave me alone, said Naruto, walking off. Next day, Naruto was sitting in his desk, looking out the window. School had ended a couple of minutes ago, but to his surprise he didn't want to get up from his seat, so he just stayed there. He felt a tap on his wounded shoulder, so he turned to see who was the dumbass that tapped him. It turned out to be Kaneko. How can I help you, Kaneko? Rias wants to see you, said Kaneko blankly. Naruto was about to refuse, but Kaneko stopped him before he could speak. She said this was the last time she will ever bother you. She said this was the last time. Should I go? I have nothing to lose. Naruto just let out a sigh and said, lead the way. ORC room. Naruto could be seen standing in front of Rias with a bored expression on his face. What do you want, Rias? Said Naruto. Let me show you that you're not a servant but more to me, please, said Rias. Naruto scratched the back of his head furiously and looked at Ria's pleading eyes, then let out a sigh. He had been doing that a lot lately. Fine, just one chance. No more, said Naruto. Thank you, Naruto, you won't regret it, said Rias with a smile. Morning. Our blonde hero could be seen walking by a park when he heard someone falling. It was a nun with blonde long hair with white wonder. He knows because of the nun trip and fell in her face with her but sticking up, showing her panties. Close to her the pervert of Issei was looking very carefully at her panties. Yo pervert, are you done looking at her? Asked Naruto, making his way to the both of them. Senpai, what are you doing here? Asked Issei, helping the nun with her clothes that were scattered on the ground. I passed by this park in my way to Kuoh and heard someone fall and I came to check what was that noise and I found you checking the nun's underwear, said Naruto. Thank for the help, and who might you be? Asked the nun. The name is Issei Hyoto and this guy with the blonde hair, said Issei pointing at Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, said the blonde. Thank you for the help, Issei-san. My name is Asia Argento, said now named Asia. It was no problem, and what are you doing here? Asked the brunette. I was on my way to the church, said Asia, picking up her suitcase. All right, I'll see you later or I'll be late, and if I'm late Sauna-chan is going to have my head, said Naruto, walking away from them. Kuoh Academy. Let's see how Rias changes my mind about me not being her slave in this peerage thing, thought Naruto, making his way through the empty hallway in his way to his class. I'm late. Sauna-chan is going to kill me, thought Naruto, sweating at the thought of Sauna lecturing him for being late. Naruto opened the door to his classroom and made his way to his seat. The teacher stopped her lecture for a moment, then continued because it was Naruto. Naruto saw the look that Sauna was giving him. Shit, I'm dead now, thought Naruto, sweating. Lunchtime. Naruto got up from his seat and started to walk toward the door when he felt a dangerous aura behind him. Turning around slowly, he saw Sauna pissed at him. Would you mind to tell me why were you late today, Naruto-kun? Said Sauna with a sickly sweet voice that made Naruto shiver. Ah, Sauna, I got lost on the road of life, said Naruto, pulling a Kakashi on Sauna. Oh really, Naruto-kun? Did you find your way on the road of life? Said the council president. Yeah, it was kind of boring as Naruto bored. Well ladies, I have to get lunch, I'll see you all later, said Naruto, leaving the classroom. Naruto was sitting under a tree in a meditating position trying to contact the power inside him. Then he was pulled into his mindscape. Naruto opened his eyes and found himself standing in the middle of an unknown place, and around him was all dark. Hello, someone there? Said Naruto when suddenly a pair of dark blue eyes with slits on them opened. So my partner decided to come and visit me, and to what do I owe this pleasure? Said the dark blue eyes. Partner? Who are you and what are you doing here, and where Kurama and the others? Asked Naruto. Yes, you are my partner, and as for who I am, said the dark blue eyes, walking toward Naruto and revealing a black saber-toothed tiger with red stripes that glowed in the dark place, with razor claw that could slice through human flesh easily and fangs that passed this jawline by a couple of feet, and it was almost as tall as Kurama, a short tail. To answer your question, I'm what they call the Conqueror or the Supreme King, and I'm your power which you haven't unlocked completely, and as for the other beasts, they're asleep, said the Conqueror, sitting down in front of Naruto. Conqueror? You're the power that I awakened last time, and what do you mean by that I haven't unlocked completely? Naruto asked the Sabertooth. Yes, you haven't unlocked completely. You only unlocked the first stage, that is called Haki. Haki? What is Haki? Asked Naruto, confused. Haki is the presence, fighting spirit, and intimidation. You awakened when you were about to die, which caused me to release your intimidation, and caused that fallen angel to fall to her knees and became scared of you, and in your second fight your fighting spirit caused your arms to be coated in black reddish armament, said Conqueror. So it's my fighting spirit and intimidation, and what about presences? Asked Naruto. Presences are the ability to sense others' presences, and in a fight, it would allow sensing where the attack is going to hit you, and if trained enough you could see some seconds in the future, said the Sabertooth. And how do I activate them? Asked Naruto. You activate the armament by focusing your fighting spirit to the body part you wanted covered, said the Supreme King. Naruto trying to focus on covering his right arm, and suddenly his arm was covered for some seconds, then it disappeared, returning to normal. It looks like your fighting spirit is weak, you need to work on it, and as for your Conqueror Haki, that doesn't have training. That is your spirit, you need to control it by yourself, said the Sabertooth. My fight spirit is weak, I guess it's from not having someone precious to me, said Naruto. And you said that you're the Supreme King, said Naruto. Yes, I'm the Supreme King or Conqueror, it doesn't matter which of the two you to call me, and as for what I'm exactly, I'm one of the strongest beings in this world. Gods fear my name, said the saber-toothed tiger. And why are you inside me? The only beings that were supposed to be inside were the beasts, said the blonde, wondering why one of the strongest beings was inside of him. Because I have chosen you to lead the three factions to true peace between them, said the Conqueror, getting up. Chosen me? Why? Asked Naruto. Because I have seen what you did in your world and I know that you can lead this world to true peace, said the strongest being in the world. But I failed to save my best friend and the world too, said Naruto. That's true about your best friend, but you did save the world, said the saber-tooth. I saved the world? Asked Naruto. Yes, you did, said the conqueror. Streams of tears started to come down from Naruto's eyes. I thought that failed Arrow Sennin in ending the circle of hatred, said Naruto crying. You didn't fail, that's why I have chosen you as my host to bring true peace to his world. Will you help me, Naruto Uzumaki? Said the Supreme King. Wiping the tears away, Naruto looked at the gigantic saber-toothed tiger in front of him. Yes, I will help you bring the true peace to this world, said Naruto with determination. Thank you, Naruto. By the way, my true name is Rayleigh, said the now named Rayleigh. You don't have to thank me, Rayleigh, and by the way, do you know a way to restore my chakra? Asked Naruto. I'm afraid not, Naruto, but from what I managed to discover is that your chakra coils are badly damaged. You need to find someone who can heal your chakra coils, said Rayleigh. Someone who can heal my system, thought Naruto out loud. Yes, well, looks like your break is almost over, said Rayleigh. Already? Oh well, we'll talk later, Rayleigh. As Naruto finished saying that, he left the mindscape. I know that he can bring true peace to this world, thought Rayleigh, then went to sleep. Normal world. Naruto opened his eyes seeing Kaneko looking at him. Is something wrong, Kaneko? Asked Naruto. No, everything is fine, Naruto-san, said Kaneko, leaving. Naruto got up and decided to go to the ORC clue room to sleep in the couches because he had to stay after school for Rias to convince him, and he didn't want to go to class, so he decides to go to clue room. ORC clue room. Naruto opened the door of the club room to find it empty and perfect for him to take a nap until Rias gets here, and went to sleep on a couch, but not knowing that someone was watching him from the corner of the room. 2 hours later, Naruto was awakened from his nap by someone. Opening his eyes, he saw Kaneko tapping him on the arm. Hey Kaneko, said Naruto, half asleep, classes are over, get up. Seating up, Naruto looked around and remembered that he was in the club room. I'm going home later, Kaneko, said Naruto, leaving the clue room. With Naruto. Naruto was walking to his work when he saw Issei in his bike going somewhere. Hey senpai, what are you doing here? Asked Issei. Oh hey, shithead, said Naruto, pulling a Taiya on Issei. I'm going to work, and what are you doing, shithead? Asked Naruto. Hey, why did you call me shithead? Said Issei, mad at the name Naruto called him. Because that's what I'm going to call you from now on, later, shithead, said Naruto, leaving Issei. With Naruto at work, Dragon Claw. Hey old man, I'm here to work, said Naruto, opening the door of the ramen stand. Oh Naruto, my boy, where have you been? You haven't come to work the last few days, asked Old Man Claus. Been in school and had some problems, said Naruto, putting his apron on and getting an order from some customers that were waiting. Oh my boy, I hope you're okay, said the old man with a grandfatherly tone. Don't worry old man, I'm fine now, said Naruto, serving the bowls of noodles. That's good to hear, my boy, said Klaus, sitting on a chair. Some time later. The time at Naruto's work went fine, nothing too major. We could see our hero making his way home when he heard someone behind him, and Naruto saw Kaneko standing there. Bucho needs to see you, said Kaneko, looking at Naruto. What does she need me for? Asked Naruto, looking at Kaneko. The pervert was attacked by an exorcist while doing a pact, said Kaneko. And what does that have to do with me? Asked Naruto. I don't know, she just told me to bring you to the club room, said the petite girl. Fine, lead the way, Kaneko, said the blonde, and letting out a sigh. ORC clue room. Naruto and Kaneko made their way to the clue room. When they arrived at the clue room, and they saw Rias arguing with Issei. I told you that you are not going to after that nun, Issei, said Rias. But Bucho, she is in danger, I need to help her, said Issei. No, Issei, end of this conversation, said Rias, making Issei leave the room sad and depressed. Hello, what you need me for, Rias? Asked Naruto. Oh Naruto, you're here, said Rias, sitting up and looking at Naruto with a serious face. Where have you been, Naruto? Demanded Rias. Ease that tone with me, Rias, in any one of your peerage, said Naruto, looking at Rias with a face that is not taking any shit. I thought you said that you are going to give me a chance, said Rias. Yeah, I did, but that tone of yours is going to make it worse for you, said Naruto. I'm sorry for the tone of voice, but it has been a rough night, said Rias, looking down. Tell me what happened, said Naruto. Then Rias proceeded to tell him that Issei was going to do a pact, and was attacked by a stray exorcist, and the nun that Issei and Naruto meet in the park was in there, and Issei was injured and the nun was kidnapped. At that point Naruto was mad. Mad was an understatement, he was mad titan. Only once did he feel like this, and it was when Gaara was taken by Akatsuki. So what do you need me for, said Naruto with the clenched fists that were turning white from the pressure he was putting with. Nobody noticed because hands were inside his pockets the entire time. I need you to stay away from this, said Rias, because she thought that Naruto was weak and didn't have a sacred gear. Naruto just stood in silence with his bangs covering his eyes. It's not my business, so I won't do anything, but if I see something I won't hesitate to do something, said Naruto, leaving the clue room. Next day, We could see Naruto walking to his work since he decided to skip school. He didn't feel like going and decided to go work in the ramen shop with old man Claus. Naruto arrived at the ramen shop and saw Claus smoking a cigarette in the back. Hey old man, how you doing? Said Naruto walking towards Claus. Naruto my boy, I'm doing fine, and how about you, and did you decide to skip school? Asked the old man. Yeah old man, I didn't feel like going to school so I came to work, said Naruto. My boy, I have told you if you don't go to school you'll end up like me working in a ramen shop, said the old man Claus. If I'll end up working in a ramen shop I'll be fine, I love ramen, said Naruto. My boy, but you need an education, said the old man. I know old man, but I already know the stuff that they are teaching, said Naruto. Claus just sighed in defeat. So how about I help you with the shop for the time being, said Naruto, going in the shop and getting his apron on to work. -6 hours later, Naruto was working when he saw two people that he didn't want to meet. It was Issei the pervert and Asia the nun. Naruto just cursed his luck. Senpai, what are you doing here? I thought that you would be with Bucho, said Issei, been surprised that Naruto was working in the shop that they went into. Yeah, not exactly a follower of her or any of the stuff. Oh, and you better not tell Rias about this shop or you are dead, shithead, said Naruto seriously. Yes senpai, I won't tell Rias, Bucho, said Issei. Good, so what do you two want to eat? Asked Naruto, getting himself ready. I'll take miso, said Issei. I want shrimp ramen, said Asia. Okay, one miso ramen and shrimp ramen coming right up, said Naruto, making the ramen and handing it to them. Issei and Asia ate the ramen and talked about stuff while Naruto was looking at them. It looks like the shithead found someone that he loves, thought Naruto with a smile. Senpai, I know it's boring, but why don't you came to school all the time? Asked Issei curiously. Oh, it's because I got into a mess when I first came here, said Naruto. What happened, Naruto-san? Asked Asia. When I first came to Kuoh I would usually get into a fight, and the last one was even worse, said Naruto. The last one happened after I was done with P. in the locker rooms. I was ganged up by 5 guys that were trying to beat me, so I fought back and we ended up fighting for a while, but the things is that during our fight we ended up in the girls' locker room. -2 years ago. We could see Naruto fighting 5 guys in a locker room. 2 guys were unconscious in the ground and one leaning onto a locker badly hurt, and the 2 that were left were fighting. Naruto hit one in the head, sending him toward a locker and knocking him out. You sure don't give up, said Naruto, cleaning the blood from his mouth and putting his fist up to start fighting again. Bring it on, said Naruto. Naruto rushed toward the guy he was fighting and hitting him on the side of the head, sending him toward a locker. Then Naruto grabbed his head and slammed it toward the locker, opening the locker and knocking out the guy he was fighting, and something fell from the locker, and Naruto grabbed it. Naruto saw that the thing was white. He brought it closer and saw that it was a bra, not just any bra, the bra was bigger, the Tsunade's one. Then suddenly the door of the girls' locker room opened and there were the girls of the Kendo Club and the great One-sama of Kuoh Academy. Akino Himejina. Then Naruto looked at the locker name and saw that it was Akino's locker. Era, Naruto-kun, I didn't know that liked to steal bras. Get in the girls' locker room and beat up guys, said Akino, getting turned on by the way that the guys on the floor were beaten up. Then the Kendo Club saw what Naruto had in his hand and started to get mad at him. Girls, it's not what it looks like, said Naruto, putting his hand up and dropping the bra from his hand. Get him, girls, said Katace and Murayama. Then the Kendo Club charged towards Naruto and attacked him. Then rumors started to spread all over the school that Naruto was a delinquent, how he beat up guys for fun and liked to steal girls' underwear. Then after that, I stopped coming to school less because of the rumors, and the guys that wanted to beat me up had increased more, and it became too much of a hassle, said Naruto, cleaning some dishes. Wow senpai, I didn't know that's what happened, said Issei, finishing his bowl of noodles. Per Naruto-san, said Asia, whipping a tear away. Not worry, I'm used to the rumors, said Naruto, remembering his childhood and how horrible it was. Okay, if you say so senpai, come on Asia, let's go, said Issei, getting up and paying the bill. Hi Issei-san, said Asia, getting up. Thank you Naruto-san for the noodles, said Asia, leaving the shop with Issei. Enjoy your date guys, thought Naruto, getting the bowls from the counter and placing them in the sink to clean them and to go in the back of the shop to get his pipe to smoke a bit, since there has been a lot of shit going on, like the fact that he not only had to hold Kurama and his bijou buddies and a fucking saber-toothed tiger that is supposed to be the strongest being in this world. Should I really a smoke, thought Naruto as he went to the back room for his pipe. Sometime later that day, Naruto had finished his shift in the ramen shop and was making his way home until Issei came rushing towards him. Senpai, I need your help to save Asia, said Issei, trying to catch his breath. Calm down shithead, tell me what happened, said Naruto. Then Issei proceeded to tell Naruto what happened. -15 minutes later. So you're telling me that the winged chick that tried to kill us is the one who kidnapped Asia? Asked Naruto. Yes, senpai, and they're going to remove her ability to heal any type of injury, said Issei. Where is it going to be, asked Naruto, and getting mad at the mention of the fallen angel that he speared. It's going to be in an abandoned church, said Issei. Okay, let's go, shithead. I have some business with one of those fallen angels, said Naruto with an aura that was shaping into a black saber tooth with blue stripes. Hi senpai, said Issei and started to run to the abandoned church. Several minutes later, close to the abandoned church, Issei and Naruto were making their way to the abandoned church when they saw Kiba and Kaneko were waiting for them. What are you doing here, Kiba, Kaneko? Asked Issei to the two standing figures in front of them. We came here to help you, said Kiba. We knew that you would get in trouble, said Kaneko with a blank expression. Thank you guys, Issei thanked the two people that were standing in front of him. It's no problem, said Kiba, and Kaneko just nodded. Okay, let's go save Asia, declared Issei, and they started to charge towards the church. Abandoned church. In the abandoned church we could see four fallen angels talking. Kala Warner, is everything ready to extract the sacred gear from the nun? Asked Dohnaseek. The former angel and the guy Naruto fought but didn't finish the fight because Rias arrived at the scene and was postponed. Yes, Dohnaseek, everything is ready, said the now named Kala Warner. Kala Warner is a buxom woman with brown eyes and long, navy blue hair that obscures her right eye. Her attire consisted of a maroon, trench coat-like top with wide collar, a matching miniskirt, and black-heeled shoes. The trench coat top was open at her chest, giving a view to her and cleavage. She also wore a gold necklace around her neck. Good Rainer, you are the one who is going to extract the sacred gear, said Dohnaseek. Okay, I'll do it, said the now named Rainer, the one who tried to kill Issei and Naruto but failed and was speared by Naruto. Rainer is an attractive young woman with violet eyes having a slender body. She has long silky black hair down her hips and possessed two black feathered wings. Her attire consisted of black, strap-like objects, resembling leather, around and under her, a thong-like piece held around her hips by three thin-lined straps, gloves that ran right up her arms with chains hanging from them, shoulder guard-like objects on her shoulders with three large spikes sprouting from her right shoulder, and black thigh-high heel boots. Good, now Middlet, you will stand guard in the back of the church with me, said Dohnaseek to the lowly girl in their group. It's good to be bored standing guard in the back, said the now named Middlet. Middlet is blonde-haired girl with twin tail and blue eyes who was dressed in a gothic Lolita attire, which consisted of a black Lolita dress with white frills, a large black bow on the front, and a green jewel embedded in the collar, white thigh socks, and black shoes. She also wears a large black bow on the top of her head. And as for you, Kala Warner, you will guard Rainer, said Dohnaseek, give the order, and left to stand guard in the back of the church. A few minutes later, Issei came bursting through the door, breaking it in the process with Kaneko, Kiba and Naruto behind him. It looks like I was right to stay behind, said Dohnaseek, stepping out of the shadow. So we meet again, said Naruto, stepping in front of Issei and the others. So the little devil came to finish our fight, said Dohnaseek in an amused tone. Senpai, do you know this fallen angel? Asked Issei. Yeah, I got into a fight with him but didn't finish it because Rias came and interrupted the fight, said Naruto. You three go on, I'll take care of Bird Wings, said Naruto, walking towards Dohnaseek. But senpai, are you sure that you can handle that guy? Asked Issei. Yeah, I can handle this guy. Go on guys, said Naruto. Issei, Kiba and Kaneko made their way around to get downstairs where Asia was held for the ritual. Naruto saw that they were out of reach from their fight. Okay Dohnaseek, let's finish our fight, said Naruto. Alright devil, let's settle the score, said Dohnaseek, walking toward Naruto. Naruto dashed toward Dohnaseek and launching a punch toward Dohnaseek, but he countered it with his fist, making a shockwave go all over the church. It looks like the devil has gotten stronger, said Dohnaseek. Feel the pressure from Naruto's fist. But it's not enough to beat me, said Dohnaseek, applying more force on his fist and sending Naruto flying back. Damn, I guess he was holding back when we fought for the first time, thought Naruto, getting up. Is that all you got, Naruto Uzumaki? Asked Dohnaseek. I'm just getting started, said Naruto, charging towards Dohnaseek. With Issei and the others a few minutes later, Kiba, Kaneko, and Issei come downstairs and they couldn't believe what they did to Asia. Asia was dressed in a white coat and pinned to a cross like Jesus Christ, and around her were exorcists praying towards her like some kind of god. Staying in front of Asia was Rainer, the fallen angel that took Asia away, with a pair of rings in her hand that belongs to Asia. You're too late, Issei, said Rainer, turning to look at the group of devils. Asia, shouted Issei, looking at the state of her friend. If you came a bit sooner you would have seen her last breath, said Rainer. Give those back to Asia, said Issei, pointing towards the pair of rings and activating his red gauntlet that transformed into the boosted gear and let out a shockwave. It's too late, Issei, she is already dead, said Rainer, turning to look at Asia's lifeless body with a sad look, then looked at the pair of ring that was in her hand. I'm sorry, little nun, but your sacrifice won't go in vain, thought Rainer, with a tear coming out of her right eye. She whipped the tear away and was about to fuse the rings with her when she felt an intimidating presence, but it wasn't Issei's intimidation. It was someone else, and she knew who it was. Oh God, he is here, thought Rainier, and started to tremble. With Naruto and Dohnaseek moments earlier, we could see Naruto all beaten up leaning in his right leg. Is that all you got, Naruto? Uzumaki just give up, asked Dohnaseek with not even a scratch on his body or face. No, I will not give up, I never go back on Nindo, said Naruto, getting up and launching a hit at Dohnaseek, but was interrupted by a hit on the stomach and was sent flying towards the wall and collapsing on the floor. Mindscape. Naruto opened his eye and saw that he was in his mindscape. Hello Rayleigh, are you there? Asked Naruto. Then a pair of dark blue eyes opened and stepped closer to Naruto. It looks like you were knocked out, said Rayleigh. Yeah, that's what it looks like, said Naruto, looking around. Tell me, Naruto Uzumaki, why do you fight so hard? Said Rayleigh. Why I fight so hard? Said Naruto in a low voice. I don't have my precious people in this world, thought Naruto, then remember Haku and the talk that they had, and he fought so hard for Zabuza. I fight to protect people precious to me, said Naruto, looking Rayleigh's black-blue eyes. Rayleigh let out a grin at the answer his partner gave him. Very well, Naruto Uzumaki, invoke your willpower and let out, said Rayleigh. Outside of the mindscape, Dohnaseek looked at the body that was knocked out in front of him, then turned around to leave when suddenly he felt an intimating force pressed against him that made him kneel and turn around and eyes widen at the sight in front of him. It was Naruto standing with his bangs shadowing his face. So you're up again, struggled Dohnaseek to speak. Then Naruto lifted his head and his eyes were orange with slits, and then the saber-toothed face that was behind Naruto let out a roar. Then a massive shockwave of intimidation went through the whole church, knocking out some of the strays, but it wasn't noticed by Kiba or Issei except for Kaneko, who felt like kneeling to someone, and Rainier was scared shitless. Dohnaseek, this will be your last fight, said Naruto, brought his fist up to his face, and it started to get coated with armament haki that reached to his elbow. Then Naruto disappeared from Dohnaseek view and appearing from of the fallen angel and hitting him straight in the face, sending him flying toward the wall and making a crater on it, then a punch in a stomach, making Dohnaseek cough blood and fall to his knees. I told you that this one was your last fight, said Naruto in a cold tone, and striking Dohnaseek in the heart, killing him. Naruto wiped the blood of his hand that felt a premonition of the future, and saw that Issei was going to kill Rainier, and beside her was the corpse of Kalawarner. Shit, I need to get there before that shithead does something he will regret, said Naruto, starting to run towards Issei and the others. With Issei and the others, Issei had gotten mad at the thought of not being able to protect Asia, and in the process his sacred gear active in response to his emotions, reveling the boosted gear of Longinus, one of the 13 sacred gears strong enough to defeat a god. Issei in his rage attacked Rainier, hitting her on the face, sending her to the main hall, and Kalawarner stepped in to protect but was hit in the face and sent flying to a wall, knocking her out. Issei was about to deal the finishing blow, but a hand stopped him. He turned and looked who it was, and it was Naruto, all beaten up and blooding. Issei snapping out of his rage. Issei noticed that Naruto was badly injured. Senpai, what happened to you? Asked Issei to the beaten up Naruto. That fallen angel was tough, said Naruto, letting go of Issei's hand. Don't kill her, said Naruto. But Senpai, she killed Asia, said Issei. She was doing her job, that's all, said Naruto, walking toward her. Hey, fallen angel, are you there? Said Naruto, sitting next to her. Yes, I'm here, Rainier answered. Why did you steal Asia's sacred gear? Asked Naruto. Dohnaseek wanted the power to take over the Grigori, responded the fallen angel. Why did you follow him? Asked Naruto. Because he promised me that I would be turned back into an angel, she responded. And the same goes for the other one? Asked Naruto, pointing at Kalawarner, who was getting up. Yes, the same goes for me, responded Kalawarner. Okay, now I'm starting to get the idea of what is happening, said Naruto, when suddenly freed Selzen, a stray exorcist, and the one who attacked Issei on his pact appeared out of nowhere. I know that you two bitches were going to spill the beans about everything, that's why I was sent here to kill you for talking, said Freed with a maniac face and charged toward Rainier with a light sword in hand to kill, but Naruto got in front of Rainier, taking the hit for her. That's what Kiba, Kaneko, Akino, and Rias saw when they came to help Issei, because they were beating some stray that didn't fall unconscious. Naruto-san, Naruto-kun, said the people that saw that Naruto took the stabbing for the fallen angel. Why did you take the hit for me, said Rainier, crying. Hey, don't cry, tears don't look on your pretty face, said Naruto, coughing some blood and making Rainier blush at the comment. Rias and Akino rapidly rushed to Naruto's side while Kiba and Kaneko attacked Freed. Hey Naruto, stay with us, said Akino, staring to apply some healing magic on Naruto. Don't worry Akino, I'll be fine, said Naruto, getting the blade out of the side of his abdomen. No Naruto, lie down, you're injured, said Akino, worrying about Naruto. Then suddenly his injuries started to heal in an abnormal rate. See, I told you, said Naruto, mentally thanking Kurama for the rapid healing he has had since he was a child. How is that possible? Asked Akino, amazed at the rate of healing of Naruto. I had since I was born. I don't know why, lied Naruto. Akino, go and help the other. Oh, fine, said Naruto. Are you sure, Naruto-kun? Asked Akino, making sure. Yeah, I'm fine, said Naruto. Akino just nodded and went to check on the other, and Issei brought Asia's dead body, and everything went silent, and Naruto looked towards Rainier, and she knew what to do. Rainier got up and walked towards Asia's dead body and placed a pair of rings on her chest, and went back where Naruto was. I'm sorry, Asia, I couldn't protect you. There is no way I can bring you back, cried Issei, holding Asia in his arms. I think this could be a way to bring her back, as Rias pulling out a chess piece that looked like a bishop. Yeah, I had forgotten about that, Bucho, said Issei at the thought of reviving Asia as a devil. Rias processed to insert the chess piece in Asia, and it sunk, meaning that it was accepted. Then Asia opened her eyes and was hugged by Issei. Asia, I'm glad that it worked, said Issei while hugging Asia. Oh, Issei, let me see your sacred gear, said Rias, interest in what sacred gear his pawn has. Issei activated his sacred gear, revealing that it was the boosted gear of Longinus. Issei, you have the boosted gear of Longinus, said Akino, one of the 13 Longinus that is able to defeat gods, finished Rias. At the comment, Issei started to feel cocky. As for Naruto, he had already left the abandoned church. Rias Gremory, you have proven that this peerage thing is not being a slave, thought Naruto, making his way home. It had been 3 weeks since Naruto and the Occult Research Club went to rescue Asia, but she died before Issei or Naruto got there, but was revived by Rias as a reincarnated devil, and became Rias's bishop. She also joined Kuoh Academy as a second-year student and the Occult Research Club, and started to live with Issei and his family. As for Naruto, nothing changed, but he started to go more often to school because he had attended the club meetings and talked more with Akino and Rias, and also went to give out flyers with Issei, and noticed that Issei had become a bit cocky after the church incident. Rias told him that they were going to be training him in how to use magic, but he wasn't able to use any type of magic, so Rias asked Kaneko to train him on hand-to-hand combat. But Kaneko was wary of Naruto because she can feel the same presence that she felt on the church that almost made her want to kneel to the presences. Naruto would train with Kaneko from time to time because Kaneko would have to go and do contracts. Also, Naruto started to train with Rayleigh on his armament, and observatory hockey on his mindscape, and as for his conqueror's hockey, he would gather all of his willpower and transform it into intimidation and letting it out into another object, but he still wasn't able to control it properly. Morning. Naruto was woken up by a knock on his front door. Naruto got up only wearing boxes and walked toward the door and opened. Hello. How may I help you, said Naruto, half asleep, not realizing who was in front of his door. The persons that was knocking on Naruto's door were Kala Warner and Rainier, how were blushing at the sight Naruto's almost naked body. Snapping out of his half-asleep state, Naruto saw who was standing in front of him with a huge blush and suitcases on their hands. What you guy doing here, and did you find me? Asked Naruto. Naruto-san, we are your new servants, said Rainier, and Kala Warner just nodded. Wait, what, would you mind explaining why the both of you are my servant, said Naruto. Rainier just nodded and proceeded to explain. When you spared our life, we went back to the Grigori and told the Governor-General what happened and how you let us live. So he told us, said Rainier, pointing at herself and at Kala Warner who was beside her, that we indebted to you for sparing us, so we decide to become you servants, said Rainier with a smile. So you're telling me that you two became my servant because you were indebted to me, is that right? Said Naruto, getting nods from both girls and just sigh. Listen, girls, you don't owe me nothing, I just let the both of you because I didn't sense any deception, said Naruto, standing in the doorway in underwear. That's enough for the both of us, said Kala Warner, finally speaking. Naruto just sigh. It's too early and troublesome to argue with a girl, thought Naruto. Look, I don't want any servants, said Naruto, letting out a sigh. But we own you our lives and we intend to pay you back even with our bodies, said Rainier. Looking flattered that both of you girls want to repay me, but being my servants is not the way, said Naruto, crossing his arm and leaning in the doorway. But that's the only thing that we can think of, said Kala Warner, stepping forward. Why don't we come inside and walk about, because it's getting kind of cold, said Naruto, shivering and stepping aside to let the girls come inside his apartment. Do you girls want something to drink? Asked Naruto, going to his room to get dressed. No thanks, said Rainier, taking a seat on the couch and looking around Naruto's apartment. Naruto's apartment wasn't too flashy and not too dull, it wasn't too big nor too small, it's perfect for a family of 3 with 3 rooms. A kitchen and a dining room with a living room that had a couch with a coffee table in front of and a sofa on the other side and a TV that was on the other side of the room, and only had one picture with 3 teenagers and 1 young man behind the teens. I would like tea, said Kala Warner, doing the same as Rainier. Naruto came out of his room fallibly dressed to the displeasure of the 2 fallen angels, and he was wearing an orange t-shirt and black shorts. He went to the fridge and grabbed a can of cola and a teapot to make the for Kala Warner. After the tea was done, Naruto grabbed a cup for Kala Warner and placed it on the coffee table, and poured some tea for Calawarner, and gave it to her. She sipped the tea and couldn't help to moan at that taste of the tea. "This tea is delicious," said Calawarner, taking another sip of the tea. Naruto-sen Rainer didn't get to finish before being interrupted by Naruto. "Naruto is fine. I hate formability," said Naruto. "Okay Naruto," said Rainer, not using formalities with Naruto. "I'm going to be honest with you girls," said Naruto, looking seriously at the fallen angels that were seating in the other side of him. "I don't like the idea of someone becoming a servant or slave for someone just because they own them something," said Naruto, remembering Haku's cause to become Zabuza's tool. "Yeah, we either like it, but that's the only way to repay our debt to you Naruto," said Calawarner, putting the teacup on the table. "Okay, I'll take you in, but do not refer to me as your master," said Naruto's, taking a sip of his cola. Both girls nodded. "Okay, you two go pick an empty room and get settled. I have to get ready for school," said Naruto, walking to his room and closing the door. A few minutes later, Naruto came out of the bathroom dressed in the Kuoh Academy black blazer with a dark orange underneath, black pants and black with orange shoes. The blonde-haired teen went to the kitchen to get a can of cola to drink in the way to Kuoh, and saw that Rainer and Calawarner were in the kitchen doing something. "Naruto, do you take a bento to school?" asked Rainer. "No, I buy lunch at the cafeteria," said Naruto, grabbing his can of cola and opening it and taking a drink from it. "Oh good," said Rainer, clapping her hands together. "Then it's good that we made this," said Calawarner, handing a bento box to Naruto. "You girls made me this?" asked Naruto, looking at the bento in his hands. "Yes we did," answered Rainer with a smile. "Thank you, girls," said Naruto with his fox grind, making the fallen angels blush. "Okay, I'm off. Take off the house for me," said Naruto, closing the front door, making the girls sigh. A few minutes later, front gate of Kuoh. Naruto was walking to his classroom to go and take a nap, but in this way to his classroom he saw Rias and Akino how waved at his, and he waved back at them and kept walking to his classroom. He saw Sauna standing next to his desk waiting for him. "Good morning, Sauna-chan. How is your morning?" said Naruto, taking a seat on his chair. "Good morning, Naruto-kun. It's been going fine," said Sauna, adjusting her glass. "Oh, that's good to know," said Naruto, getting in position to nap. "Naruto-kun, you haven't been to school in 3 days. Would you mind explaining yourself?" asked Sauna, but she was too late because Naruto had already dozed off. "Damn it, Naruto," said Sauna, walking back to her desk because the teacher had just walked in to start the lesson. Lunchtime. Naruto was woken up by Sauna to tell him that it was lunch. He got up to go buy lunch but remembered the bento that Rainer and Calawarner made for him. So he went to get it from his bag and opened to eat. "Naruto-kun, did you made that bento?" asked Sauna, kind of curious. "No, a friend make to me," answered Naruto. Made Sauna and Akino feel made for some reason. "A friend?" asked Sauna with an irritated tone. "Yup, a friend," said Naruto, finishing his bento and taking out a can of cola, totally obvious of the K.I that was being released by Sauna and Akino. "Well ladies, I must excuse myself," said Naruto, putting his bento away and putting his bag over his shoulder. "Wait, you're leaving?" "But we're still in school hours," said Sauna, snapping out of her mad state. "Yeah, I got things to take care of," said Naruto. "Oh, if you need me I'll be in the ORC room," said Naruto, walking to the door when he bumped into Rias, who was walking into his classroom with her bento box on hand. "Oh, hi Rias," said Naruto, getting the bento box that Rias dropped and handing it back. "Oh, good afternoon Naruto," said Rias, getting the bento box that is handing to her. "Sorry for that. Well ladies, I'm off," said Naruto, walking to the door. "Where are you going, Naruto?" asked Rias. "To the ORC room to take care of something," answered Naruto, letting the classroom. "Something to do in the ORC room, said Rias in a low voice. "What took you so long?" asked Sauna, cleaning her mouth. "Oh, I got caught in something," said Rias, taking a seat in Naruto's desk. "Let's eat before lunch is over," said Rias, opening her bento. ORC room. Naruto opened the doors of the clue room and took a seat on the couch. Think of what happened in the morning, having 2 fallen angels living with him. "I need a break," thought Naruto, leaning down on the couch and taking a nap, but he did see that Kaneko was coming in the room and saw him sleeping on the couch and walked towards him and picked up the scent of animals, but the strongest scent was one of a fox and a tiger. Her first thoughts were, is Naruto-san a yokai? Because the foxes are in the yokai faction, but he also did have the scent of a tiger and other beings. Kaneko got close to him and felt a pulse come from Naruto's stomach. She lifted Naruto's shirt, revealing his hard abs, making the girl blush. Then she noticed that in his stomach was some type of seal, and she went to touch it and felt a pull, and Naruto waking up and grabbing her hand and slamming her to the ground, and in instinct tried to grab a kunai knife from this pocket. Snapping out of his instinctual state, Naruto 3 realized the position he was on and on top of. Naruto was on top of Kaneko, and holding her hand against her chest and touching her at the same time. Naruto, that Kaneko was blushing madly. Kaneko, are you okay?" said Naruto, getting up from Kaneko, The petite girl didn't answer because she was too embarrassed to answer. Sorry about that, it was on instinct, said Naruto, offering his hand to Kaneko. It's okay, don't worry, said Kaneko, accepting Naruto's hand and getting up. Naruto, what is that mark you have in your stomach? Said Kaneko, and blushed remembering Naruto's chiseled abs. So did see it, said Naruto, seating on the couch, receiving a nod as a response. Naruto just sighed and motivating for Kaneko to take a seat next to him. Kaneko, I'm not from this world, said Naruto, looking straight. What do you meaning, Naruto-san? Asked Kaneko, looking at him curiously. That what it exactly means, I'm not from this world, said Naruto. Would mind explaining? Said Kaneko, growing more curious. Naruto just nodded in response. I'm from a world where humans can use chakra and some people senjutsu in their everyday life, said Naruto, remembering his times in the elemental nation. One night a nine-tailed fox attacked my village and destroying everything in its path, but the Hokage, the guy that was in charge of the village, decided to seal that beast in the body of a newly born baby to save the village from the rampaging beast, said Naruto. And the newly born child was me. Kaneko was wide-eyed at the revelation that Naruto had a nine-tailed fox sealed inside of him. I was beaten every day by the villager because they thought that I was the fox, said Naruto, remembering the horrible childhood he had. I'm sorry to hear that, said Kaneko with a sad face. Don't worry, Kaneko, said Naruto with a grind and patting Kaneko's head, making the petite girl purr. Kaneko, remember that Naruto said that they could use chakra and senjutsu. Naruto, did you said that where you come from people could use chakra and senjutsu? Asked Kaneko with a bit of fear at the mention of senjutsu. Almost everybody from where I come from can use chakra, but only a few could use senjutsu, said Naruto. Can you use senjutsu? Asked Kaneko with a frightening tone and fearing the answer. Yeah, I could use it, but my chakra coils are damaged, answered Naruto, remembering Ma and Pa. Kaneko just tensed when she heard the answer. Would you lose your senses then when you use senjutsu? Asked Kaneko, hoping that Naruto wouldn't lose his sense. Lose my senses? What do you mean, Kaneko? Asked Naruto. When people use senjutsu they would lose their sense and go crazy, answered Kaneko. No, I wouldn't lose my sense, answered Naruto, a bit confused. The only side effect it had was if you weren't a master at it you would get feature form the animal that taught it to you, or would turn into a statue as you didn't balance it. Well, said Naruto, rubbing his chin. Naruto got up from the couch and sat on the floor in a cross-legged position and putting his fist together in the center of his stomach. Trying to feel the Naruto in this world, Kaneko was looking at Naruto with a curious and confused face. Naruto felt that the nature in this world was corrupted and full of evil, and it made Naruto grit his teeth. This world is full of evil and corruption but is nothing that I can handle, thought Naruto, purring the natural energy and absorbing it, entering sage mode. Then Naruto opened his eyes, revealing his eyes, and his eyes were similar to a toad's eyes, and orange tints appeared around Naruto's eyes. Kaneko trembled in fear of seeing Naruto entering sage. Naruto, sensing the fear coming from Kaneko, he spoke. Relax, Kaneko, I'm not going to lose my sanity, reassured Naruto to Kaneko to ease her fear. How haven't you loses your sanity? Asked Kaneko with fear in her tone. Naruto just smirked, making Kaneko to take a step back. It's easy for a senjutsu master like me, said Naruto, turned around to face Kaneko, giving Kaneko a view to his eyes that had changed when he entered saga mode. Naruto, your eye, said Kaneko, still fearful of senjutsu. Oh, this, said Naruto, pointing to his eyes, that is a sign that I entered sage mode, and depending on the animal that taught to you will have a feature that shows that you're a saga, said Naruto. As for me, I get toad eyes and pigment around my eyes since I'm a sage from Mount Maiboku, said the blonde, walking towards Kaneko and patting her head, getting a purr out of the petite girl. Are you sure that you're still sane? Said Kaneko with a worried tone. Naruto just looked at her and gave her a foxy grind. Relax, Kaneko, I'm still sane. If I weren't a sage master I would have gone insane by now, said Naruto, reassuring the white-haired girl and ruffing Kaneko's hair, getting a pout from the petite girl. Naruto just chuckled and went to seat on the couch and releasing the natural energy, turning his eyes back to those ocean blue orbs. The natural energy of this world is corrupted and full of evil, that's why senjutsu users lose their sanity, said Naruto with a frown. Kaneko went to take a seat next to him. How did you damage your chakra coils? Said Kaneko, a bit curious. I was in a battle with a goddess, the mother of all chakra, said Naruto, making Kaneko go wide-eyed at the mention of Naruto fighting a goddess. I was fighting her for 3 days straight because I was trying to seal her to save my world. At the end I managed, but there was an explosion of energy that caused a rift in time and space and sucked me in. I was in total darkness, and I passed out from the battle. Then next thing I knew I was thrown from the sky and crashed into a forest, and wasn't able to use my chakra anymore, said Naruto, leaning his head back. Kaneko just looked at Naruto with wide eyes. Oh well, and don't tell nobody what I have told you, said Naruto with a serious face. Kaneko just nodded. Are you going to stay here? asked Kaneko. Yeah, I'm going to take a nap, said Naruto, putting his legs in the other side of the couch and drifting off to sleep. Kaneko just stood for a minute watching Naruto walk out of the club room. -2 hours later, Rias and Akino walked in the club room and saw that some legs were hanging from the side of the couch, and went to see who was on the couch. Rias and Akino got closer and saw that it was Naruto soundly sleeping on the couch without care. Akino smiled seeing Naruto sleeping. He looks cuter when he is asleep, thought Akino, pulling out her phone and taking a picture to show Sauna later. It looks like Kitsune-kun fell asleep, said Akino, walking towards Naruto and kneeling down to his level and caressing his golden hair. So he was here napping, said Rias, looking at her queen, then toward Naruto. He is cute when he is sleeping, thought Rias with a small blush. Should we wake him up? Asked the raven-haired, looking at her king. As much I don't want to, but we have to. Everybody will be here any minute, said Rias, kneeling next to Akino, and started to lightly shake Naruto to wake him up. Naruto, wake up, the club activities are about to start, said Rias, shaking Naruto. Naruto was starting to wake and opened his eyes and saw that 2 persons from him. Am I die because I can see 2 angels? Said Naruto, half asleep, seeing blurry and causing the girls to blush at the compliment. Regaining her posture, Rias cuffed on her hand to hide the blush. Naruto, you're not dead. It's me, Rias and Akino, and get up, school hours are over. Club activities are about to start, said Rias, get up and walking to her desk. Oh my bad, I needed that nap, said Naruto, yawning and stretching, making Akino smile at his laid-back attitude. It's okay, Naruto, said Rias, seating on her chair to wait for the other. Would you something to drink, Kitsune-kun? Asked Akino, still kneeling next to Naruto. Yeah, some tea would be nice, Akino-chan, said Naruto, seating up. Akino smiled and got up and went to the next room to prepare the tea for Naruto. The door opened and through it came Kaneko with Kiba. Good afternoon, Naruto-san. Bucho greeted Kiba to Naruto and Rias. Hey, greeted Naruto, still half asleep. Oh, hi Kiba, Kaneko, said Rias, pulling some paper out of the drawer. Kaneko just nodded and went to seat in her usual spot where Naruto is seating. Akino came out from the next room with a tray of tea and some snacks. She served some tea to Naruto, who was leaning his head back with his eyes closed. Naruto-kun, here is your tea, said Akino, putting the cup of tea in the table that was in front of him. Thank you, Akino, said Naruto, rubbing the sides of his temples. Akino saw that and worried a bit. Are you okay, Naruto-kun? Asked Akino, making Kaneko look at him too. Yeah, I'm okay, Akino, said Naruto, still rubbing his temples. You're not okay, said Kaneko, looking at Naruto intently. It's just a headache. Don't worry, girls, reassured Naruto to the girls, and the truth was that every time he trained in hockey with Rayleigh he would get a headache after it. Okay, if you say so, said Akino, still worried about Naruto, and Kaneko just nodded. Then Issei and Asia came through the door, making Naruto's headache even worse. Hey guy, said Issei, taking a seat on the other couch. What are going to do today, Bucho? Asked Issei. Since today is a full moon, it's perfect to get the 3 of you a familiar, said Rias. A familiar? Said Issei, a bit confused. Yeah, a familiar is a major part of being a devil. When you need them, they're going to be there to back you up, said Rias as she summons a bat. Then Akino summoned hers and a green nip came. Then there was a knock on the door. Come in, answered Akino, and through the door came the student council. Sorry to interrupt, said Sauna with the student council behind her. While what she is doing her, said Issei. Issei, who are these people? Asked Asia. The one in the middle is Sauna Shirtorai, the student council president, and the girl with glasses right behind her is Tsubaki Shira. It looks like they brought the rest of the council with them, answered Issei in a lower voice that only Asia and he could hear. Hello, Sauna, what can I do for you? Asked Rias. Nothing, I just wanted to congratulate you for increasing your number of servants, said Sauna. Naruto was too occupied with his headache to see who came into the club room. Hold on, how's she know about that? Asked Issei. Her real name is Sona Citri, and she is not just the student council president, she's the next head of the house of Citri. A big devil family, answered Akino. Wait, are you saying that there is more devil in the school? Said Issei, surprised. Rias, I'm hurt to find out you didn't tell your little servant about us. But I supposed if you didn't trust him with inside info, then he must not be worth the time to you, huh? Said the only male in the council. It's considered bad form to get involved in the affairs of others' household, Saji. It's only natural that Rias helped this back, said Sauna. I know you, you're the guy from 2C who was just elected student council clerk, right? I think I might have voted for this guy, said Issei, recognizing the male in the student council. Saji Genshiro, my pawn, said the raven-haired president, introducing this piece. This is my pawn Issei Hyoto, and my bishop Asia Argento, and the guy that is laying on the couch is Naruto Uzumaki, my special piece, said Rias, doing the same and making Sauna look at the couch and seeing Naruto rubbing his temples. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Said Sauna, rushing toward Naruto. Huh? Said Naruto, turning around seeing Sauna running towards him. Sauna-chan, said Naruto, holding his head. Are you alright, Naruto-kun? asked Sauna kneeling in front of him. Yet just a headache, answered Naruto, rubbing his temples. Are you sure, Naruto-kun? Asked the student council president worriedly. Yeah, I'm fine, just need to lay down for a bit, said Naruto. Okay, if you say so, then lay your head on my legs, said Sauna, blushing and seating in the couch next to him. Are you sure, Sauna-chan? Asked the blonde. Yeah, I don't mind, Naruto-kun. If it's with you, I'm fine with it, said Sauna, and saying the last part to herself. Naruto just nodded and laid his head on her legs and felt that his headache had eased a bit, and closed his eyes to relax a bit. Sauna just smiled and played with his hair. Rias, Kaneko, and the student council, except for Saji, who was arguing with Issei, Akino, was smiling. Were wide-eyed at sight that they were seeing. Sauna Torai, one of the most strict girls in Kuoh Academy, is giving a lap pillow to Naruto Uzumaki, the delinquent of Kuoh Academy. Meanwhile, Issei and Saji were arguing because Saji said that he was stronger than Issei. I took up to 4 pieces, said Saji, putting 4 fingers up. I took 8, said Issei cockily. You motherfucker, Saji trailed off when he saw Asia standing behind Issei and went to grab her hand. Am I dead because I'm seeing angels? Hello, my name is Saji Genshiro, and who might you be, said Saji. Then Issei came and grabbed his hands off Asia and squeezes then hard. If you tried something on Asia, it'll slice off your balls, said Issei with grit teeth, and squeezing harder than Saji pulled his off from Issei and squeezed Issei's hand too. Oh yeah, you think devil boy because I'm going to get my familiar today and became a full-fledged devil, said Saji, squeezing Issei's hands and snapping Rias from her shock state. Now I remember what I was doing, said Rias, and cuffing on her hand and getting everybody's attention except for Naruto, who was fading to sleep in Sauna's lap. Sona, are you going to get your familiars? Asked Rias. Sona just nodded, trying not to wake up Naruto, who was sleeping. I was going to take my peerage to get their familiars, said Rias. So how are we going to figure out who does to get them familiars? Asked Akino. How about a game? Said Rias. Surely not asking for a rating game? Said Sona, getting Naruto's head from her legs and putting it on the couch since he already had dozed off to the land of dreams. No, we won't get permission. I was talking about a sport, said Rias. Sure, said Sona. 1 game later. Kaneko was holding 2 broken rackets from the tennis game that Rias and Sona had. It looks like a tide, said Kaneko. So who are they going to solve this? Asked Kiba. They're having a meeting to find a way to solve this, said Kaneko, putting the tennis rackets away. Then the door opened and through it came Rias and Akino. We're going to having a dodgeball game, said Rias, and everybody nodded. Bucho, do we wake him up? Asked Kaneko, pointing towards the couch. Was Naruto is sleeping. No, that headache didn't look good, said Rias, and Kaneko just nodded. Then they left to go and have the game with Sona. 1 game of dodgeball later, and Issei crying for his one-eye snake later. Naruto woke up feeling better and the headache was gone. He sits up to see that he alone in the clubroom. Then the door crack open. Then the members came through the door in with teared tracksuit. Oh, Naruto-kun, you're awake. How you feeling? Asked Akino. I'm feeling better, Akino, said Naruto, patting his neck. That's good, said Akino. What happened to you guy? Asked Naruto, seeing the state that they were dressed. Well, we had a dodgeball game to decide with peerage was going to go to get their familiar, said Akino, walking to the closet where there were clothes and handing some to the rest. What? Why did you woke me up, Akino, said Naruto. Kaneko asked Rias we should wake you up, but Rias said not to, said Akino, getting the tray of tea. And besides, that headache didn't look good, and after you fell asleep so soundly in Sauna's lap, said the raven-haired girl with a smile. I won't lie, that nap was one of the best ones I had in years, said Naruto, stretching. That's good to know, I'll tell Sauna later, said Akino with a smile, and Naruto just shrugged. Would you like some tea? Asked Akino. Yeah, I'm really thirsty, said Naruto, getting the teacup and handing it to Akino. While Akino serves Naruto some tea, he looks around to see that everyone was in their usual spots. Kaneko was seating next to him munching on chocolate. Issei and Asia were in front of Naruto seating in the couch talking normally, and Kiba was standing in the corner like the usual. Akino, who won the game? Asked Naruto curiously. We won the match, said the vice president of the club while giving Naruto his teacup back refilled. So we're going to get our familiars right now? Asked Naruto. Yes, we're just waiting for Rias to get everything set up, said Akino. Naruto just nodded and took a sip of his teacup. A few minutes later, Rias had everything set up to go to the familiar forest to get her peerage, their familiar. Alright guys, let's get to the familiar forest, said Rias, forming a magic circle under her big enough to fit her peerage. Familiar forest. Naruto and the rest of the peerage arrive at the familiar forest. Okay guys, this is the familiar forest, and where is he? He should be here any second, said Rias, looking for someone. Then they heard something on a 3, and standing there was a grown man with a yellow shirt and blue shorts with a cap. Hello, I'm the familiar master and I'm here to help you find your familiar, said the familiar master. So what kind of familiar you guys are looking for? There are defensive, hand-to-hand combat, and there are ones that are good with magic, so which one? asked the familiar master. Are they any with big boobs and sexy bodies? Asked Issei. Kid, a familiar is very important, said the master. While Issei and the familiar master was discussing, Naruto was looking around feeling nostalgic seeing so many tall trees like in Konoha. Alright, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to take a look around, said Naruto walking off to the tree. Hey kid, it's dangerous in there, said the master. Run towards Naruto to stop him, but the familiar master was stopped by Kaneko. Don't worry, he'll be fine, said Kaneko with an emotionless face. If you say so kid, said the familiar master. Alright, let's get started. With Naruto. It had been 10 minutes since Naruto left the group to go and explore the forest to find his familiar. Naruto was walking around the forest having a nostalgic smile on his face, remembering the time he would wander off to the forest of Konoha. Naruto was walking peacefully, then he heard a noise coming from the bush and suddenly a green hound came out the bush growling at Naruto. A hound, huh? Would you like to form a contact with me? Asked Naruto looking at the green hound in front of him, and got growl from the hound. I guess that a no, said Naruto. Suddenly the hound jumped to attack him but tackled by a saber-toothed tiger. The saber-toothed tiger was a black with blue stripes and blue eyes with slits. It standing in front of Naruto like he was guarding him and growling at the hound. The hound got up and charges toward the saber-toothed tiger, but the saber-toothed tiger didn't wait for any second to attack him. The tiger went straight for the neck of the hound but missed because of the hound jumped to the side before getting bitten by the saber-toothed tiger. The hound charged towards the tiger to attack him, but the hound stopped because it sensed something stronger and intimidating, and at the moment the hound was slashed in the eye by the tiger. The hound ran away whimpering into the bushes. The saber-tooth turned around and looked at Naruto. You have a familiar presence, said a feminine voice, and Naruto looked around to find the source of the voice. Then he looks at the saber-tooth in front of him. Are you the one who is speaking? Asked Naruto looking at the saber-toothed tiger. The tiger just nodded. What do you mean by saying that I smell familiar? Asked Naruto. You have the same presences as someone I just know, said the tiger. And who is that someone? Asked Naruto. The Supreme King, said the tiger, shocking Naruto. Rayleigh, do you know this tiger? Asked mentally Naruto to Rayleigh. Yes, I do know her, responded Rayleigh back. She was my right hand, said Rayleigh. You mean Rayleigh, the Supreme, the Conqueror? Asked Naruto. How do you know that name? Asked the tiger, getting her guard back. I know him because he's inside me, responded Naruto, surprising the right hand of the Conqueror. That can't be true, you're lying, said the saber-toothed tiger, getting to attack. Naruto, flared your presence a bit, said Rayleigh, getting a nodded from Naruto. The saber-toothed tiger was about to attack Naruto when she felt an intimidating presence coming from Naruto, and the aura that was coming out of Naruto, which was forming a saber-toothed tiger's head. It can't be true, it is true, said the tiger, walking backward. Naruto stops his presence and looked at the saber-toothed tiger. Do you believe me now? Asked Naruto. Yes, I do, responded the tiger. Good, said Naruto, nodding. I'm assuming that you are a devil and that you are looking for a familiar? Said the saber-toothed tiger. Naruto just nodded. Would you allow me to be your familiar? Said the tiger, bowing down. And would you want to be my familiar? Asked Naruto curiously. You are the destined one to bring peace to this world, and you have my master inside you, so that makes you my master, said the saber-toothed tiger. That doesn't mean that you have to be my familiar, said the blonde. I know, but I want to help you and you're kind of interesting, said the tiger. If that's what you want, then fine, but first tell me what abilities you have, said Naruto. I have the power of darkness, said the tiger, dissolving into a dark substance and disappear and reappearing out of Naruto's shadow. That's interesting, said Naruto, rubbing his chin. I'm also fast and agile, said the tiger, dashing toward a tree and appearing in one of the branches. Naruto whistled. But before we form the contract, tell me, do you have a name? Said Naruto, kneeling down. Yes, I do. It's Yami, said the now named Yami. Well, Yami, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, said the whisked blonde. Then Naruto proceeded to form the contract with Rias and the other. Rias and her peerage had found a familiar for Asia. It was a baby spite dragon with blue diamond-like scales and a small pair of wings. As for Issei, unfortunately, he didn't find a suitable familiar. Right now they were waiting for Naruto. Where is he? Said Rias, a bit worried for Naruto. He'll be here, Rias, said Akino when they heard a noise from the branches above them. It was Naruto. Naruto, you're here. Are you okay? Did you find a familiar? Asked Rias, bombarding Naruto with questions. Naruto jumped down from the branch into the ground. Yes, I found a familiar. Yami, would you come out please? Said Naruto, and from his shadow blue eyes with slits opened, and from the shadow came out a black saber tooth with blue, growling strips, and it was 3 feet tall. I want you guys to meet Yami, said Naruto, introducing his familiar. Rias was going to check if Naruto was injured. She started to walk close to Naruto when she stopped because of Yami, who was growling at her. Now Yami-chan, be nice to them, said Naruto, kneeling to pat Yami's head. That can't be possible, said the familiar master, surprised. What can't be possible? asked Rias. His kid was able to form a contract with a black saber-tooth, then only one in this forest, and the one that I haven't been able to get close to, said the master. What's so special about this black saber-tooth? Said Aquino. The black saber-toothed tigers are one of the most dangerous animals and have the power of darkness, and to make a contract with them you have to be worthy of it, answered the familiar master. Wow, I didn't know that, said Aquino, amazed at the new revelation. Well, Guy, the sun is almost up, we have to go, said Rias, forming a transportation circle, and everyone nodded and Yami went back to Naruto's shadow ORC room. Naruto and the rest reappeared in the club after their familiar. It was alright morning and there were a few hours left before school begins. Well, I'll see you Guy in school, said Naruto, walking to the door. You're leaving, but school started in a few hours, said Rias. Yeah, I need to take care of some stuff and to take a bath, said Naruto, opening the door. Alright then, we'll see you in school, said Rias. Naruto nodded and left the club room to go to his apartment. Naruto's apartment. Kala Warner, have you seen Naruto-kun? Asked Rainer, concerned for Naruto since he didn't go home to sleep. No, Rainer, did he come back last night? Asked Kala Warner, looking at her fallen friend, looking concerned for the whisked blonde that saved them. No, answered Rainer, passing back and forth. Relax, Rainer, he'll come back today, said Kala Warner to calm her friend down. I know, but I'm still worried, said Rainer, showing worry in her tone. Tell me something, Rainer, do you like Naruto? Asked Kala Warner with a serious tone. Rainer stops pacing back and forth and looks at Kala Warner dead in the eye. I have fallen for Naruto, said Rainer. And do lie, you like him too, said the raven-haired fallen angel. Kala Warner was in deep thought for a few minutes, searching deep inside herself to find if she did love him. A few minutes passed since Rainer asked Kala Warner if she did love Naruto. Kala Warner was still deep in thought when she remembers how Naruto saved Rainer from getting killed by Issei and let them live. I do love him, said Kala Warner with her face looking to the ground. I knew it, I could see it in your eyes, said Rainer. So how are we going to figure out who is going to be Naruto's girlfriend, said Rainer. Because I love him too. From what I have seen from Naruto now, he doesn't have that much in him, said Kala Warner, rubbing her chin. Yeah, I have noticed that too. He seemed dead from the inside and puts a mask in front of others, said Rainer. We can share him and give him love, the both of us, said Kala Warner, hoping that Rainer would agree. Yeah, we can do that. We don't know if he likes us, said Rainer in a sad tone. We can start to give him some love and we'll find out if he like us, suggested Kala Warner. Yeah, we can do that, said Rainer with a smile, and sat in the couch with Kala Warner, and they started to talk about Naruto. With Naruto and Yami. Naruto was talking to his apartment, and mentally talking to Yami. Can you use your darkness to teleport us somewhere? Mentally asked Naruto. Yes, I can, but I need to know where it is, answered Yami. But if I know where it is, can you go? Asked Naruto. I think that will work, said the black saber-tooth. Let's try it, said Naruto, mentally showing Yami where he wanted to go. Yami turned her body and Naruto's into darkness and subsided into the darkness, and next thing they knew they were in front of was Naruto wanted to go. I guess it worked, Yami, said Naruto. Yes, Naruto-sama, responded the saber-toothed tiger. Yeah, and don't call me Naruto-sama, just call me Naruto, said the blonde. Yes, Naruto, said the black tiger. Naruto and Yami were standing in front of Naruto's apartment. Naruto went to open the door and was greeted by a sleeping Rainer and Kala Warner in the couch. Naruto just smiled and shook his head. You girls were waiting for me the whole night, said Naruto, going to his room and grabbed a blanket for the sleeping girls. Naruto, who are these girls? Asked Yami, coming out of Naruto's shadow. They're fallen angels that I saved, said Naruto, covering the girls with the blanket. Okay, Naruto, said the tiger, seating behind Naruto. Naruto went to put his bag on the table and went to his room to take a nap. Naruto, are you going to sleep? Asked Yami behind Naruto. I'm going to take a nap, are going to join me? Asked Naruto, pulling up the cover. I thought you said that you were going to school later, said Yami, tilting her head to the side. Yeah, but I need to sleep, so are going to join me? Said Naruto, getting in bed and covering himself. Yami got in Naruto bed to sleep next to him. A few hours later, Naruto woke up from his nap. He looked down to see that Yami was sleeping next to him soundly. Naruto just smiled and left the bed as quietly as he could. The blonde went to take a bath and get ready. Naruto came out of the bathroom after taking a shower and went to get this uniform, which was the black blazer and the black paints. He got dressed and went to the living to see that Rainer and Kala Warner weren't sleeping on the couch. Naruto-kun, you came back, said a voice, tacking Naruto to the ground. Naruto just groaned from the sudden tackle and looked down to see a crying Rainer. Rainer, what's wrong? Said Naruto, looking at the crying fallen angel. You didn't come home yesterday, Kala Warner, and I were worried sick for you, said the fallen angel, crying. Sorry for worrying you, said Naruto, whipping the tears away from her face. I was doing some things and it took me all night to finish, said Naruto, patting her head. It's okay, Naruto, said Rainer, getting off from Naruto. Okay, and by the way, the bento was good, thank girls, said Naruto with a smile, making the raven-haired girl to blush. Where is Calawarner? Said Naruto, noticing that the blue-haired fallen angel wasn't there. She went out to get groceries because the fridge was almost empty, said Rainier, offering a hand to Naruto. Crap, I forgot to go grocery shopping, said Naruto, accepting the hand and getting up. I need to thank her for going grocery shopping, said the blonde. Don't worry about it, she did it out of her own will, said the fallen angel. Yeah, but it's my responsibility as the house owner, said Naruto, walking to the dining room and pulling out a chair from the table and taking a seat. I guess that's true, said Rainier, taking a seat in front of Naruto. What time is it? Asked Naruto. It's 8:30, said Rainier. Oh crap, I'm late to class. Oh well, said Naruto. Are you going to school? Asked the fallen angel. Yeah, but later, said the blonde-haired male. Alright, let me make up a bento, said Rainier, getting up and making her way to the kitchen. Thank that, greatly appreciated, said Naruto. Meanwhile, in Naruto's room, Yami was waking up from her nap with her master. Yami noticed that her master wasn't in bed, so she decided to go and look for him. She left Naruto's room and walked into the living room and saw that the front door was opening and saw that one of the fallen angels that were staying in her master's house was coming in. Calawarner was coming from grocery shopping because Naruto's fridge was almost empty, so she decided to go shopping for food and was making her way, and when she saw that a black tiger was in the living room, and in her instinct she made a light spear and threw it at the tiger in front of her. Naruto was talking with Rainier in the living room when he heard a crash and got up and ran to where the sound come front, and saw that it was Calawarner fighting Yami in the living room. Naruto gets in the middle of them, grabbed Calawarner by the hand and pushed her towards the ground, and as for Yami, he grabbed her by the neck and sent her towards his shadow. Are you two done fight? Said Naruto, standing in the middle. Calawarner looked up to see that Naruto with the light spear in his hand, burning it and scratched from the tiger. Rainier come after the noise to see that Naruto was holding the light spear in this hand and getting burned with Calawarner on the ground. Naruto-kun, are you okay? Asked Rainier, running towards Naruto to check on him. Yeah, I'm fine, it's just a little burn, said Naruto, crushing the light spear. I'm sorry, Naruto, said the blue-haired fallen angel, looking down. I'm sorry, master, said the saber-toothed tiger, coming out of Naruto's shadow, surprising the fallen angels. Don't worry, you too, said Naruto, kneeling and patting the tiger and the fallen angel. Naruto, who is this tiger? Asked Calawarner, looking at the tiger that was standing in front of Naruto. Oh, I forgot to introduce you guys to my familiar, said Naruto, standing up. This is Yami, a black saber-toothed tiger, said the blonde, shocking the fallen angels. You mean a black saber-toothed tiger, one of the hardest to form a contract, said Calawarner in shock. Naruto just nodded and proceeded to tell them how he meets Yami in the familiar forest. A few minutes later, and that's how I meet Yami, said Naruto after telling the girls how he formed a contract with one of the strongest animals in the familiar forest. Calawarner was looking down because she hurt Naruto with the light spear. Naruto noticed that Calawarner was a bit sad. I'm okay, Calawarner, said Naruto. But I harmed you, said Calawarner. Don't worry, I'm alright, I'm all healing up, said Naruto, raising his hand up to show that the burns were gone. Calawarner didn't say anything, so Naruto got in front of her and lifted her face up to see that she was crying. Naruto whipped the tears away from her face and just smiled. Tears don't look good in your pretty face, said Naruto, making the blue-haired blush at the compliment. Naruto saw the time and he had to go to school. Girls, I need to school, I'll see you guys late, said Naruto, grabbing the bento box that was in the table, ran out of the apartment. Kuoh Academy. Naruto was running toward his classroom when he heard Yami. I'm sorry, master, said Yami in a sad tone. Don't worry, Yami, the scratch that you gave is gone and the girls didn't see it, so you don't need to be sad mentally, said Naruto, opening the door to his classroom and walking in like it was nothing. But I hurt you, but my duty was to assist you or to protect you, but intended I harm you, said Yami. Yami, you don't need to beat yourself up that much, as was a simple scratch, and don't argue with me. End of the conversation, said Naruto. Okay, Naruto, said the tiger from his shadow. Naruto just nodded and to sleep in class. Lunchtime. Naruto, wake up, said a voice, waking up Naruto from his dream, and saw that it was Sauna. Oh hi, Sauna-chan, or you want me to call you Sona-chan? Said Naruto with a smirk. So you heard everything, said Sauna, pulling a desk and setting it next to Naruto's desk. Only that you were the next head of the House of Citri, and after that, the headache came back in full force, said Naruto, pulling out his bento box and started to eat. How is your head? Asked Sona, opening her bento. It feels better now, said Naruto. Sauna just nodded. And thanks for the lap pillow, said the blonde, making the student council president to furiously blush. Era, I would have give you a lap pillow if asked for it, Naruto-kun, said Akino, walking toward them. Oh hi, Akino, said Naruto. I'll take you in your offer in another day, said Naruto, finishing his bento. Akino just smiled. How you feeling, Naruto-kun? Asked Akino, putting a desk in front of Naruto's desk. Good, answered Naruto, putting his bento box away. You guys started eating without me, said Rias, coming in from the door. You're late again, Rias, said Sona. Yeah, I know, said Rias, pulling a desk to set it next to Kino's. Lunch for them went normal. They just talked about stuff, then lunch ended and they went back to their class. After school in the ORC room. School had ended and Naruto was sitting in the couch with Kaneko next to him eating her snacks. What are we going to do today, Rias asked Naruto. We're going to train you more, said Rias. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have to go to work, said Naruto, leaving the room. The rest of the club member went to train to get stronger. The Dragon Claw. Old man, I'm here to work, said Naruto, coming in through the back door. Ah, Naruto, my boy, you're here, said the old man. Yeah, how was today? Asked Naruto. It was pretty slow, said the old man, putting tobacco on his pipe and lighting it up. That's good to know, said the blonde, putting his apron on. Old man, do you still talk to Chris? Asked Naruto. Yes, he is living in Canada, said the old man, taking a drag of his pipe. How is he doing? Asked Naruto. He's doing fine, said Claus. Why do you ask, my boy? Because I haven't heard of him since he introduces me to you and gave me his apartment, said Naruto. Oh yes, that was the last he was here before he moves to Canada, said the old man. Oh, didn't know that was the last day he was here in Japan, said Naruto. The rest of the time went fast for Naruto and his shift ended. Well, old man, I going to head out. Do you need any help? Asked Naruto before he leaves. No, my boy, I just need to take care of some stuff, then he'll close the shop for the night, asked the old timer. Naruto just nodded and left. Claus turned around to see a young man around his mid-20s in a formal attire. I see that you've been taking care of the brat, said the young man. Oh, Chris, my boy, what brings you here? Asked Claus. Nothing much, just came to see how the brat was doing, but I see that he is doing well and that he also is a devil from the Gremry heiress, said the now named Chris, turning round to reveal a young man with black hair and a goatee with one brown eye, and the other one was like a wild beast. Yeah, I have been taking care of him since you discovered that he had the conqueror inside of him, and I also noticed that he is a devil, said the old man. Yeah, and who would have guessed that the Great Red is taking care of a brat that holds Rayleigh inside of him, said Chris with a chuckle. Yeah, how would guess that, but I love the brat's company, said the Great Red. And how are things between Ophis and you? Asked Chris. Well, things between the brat and me have calmed down a bit since I'm here in the human world, said the old man. That's good to know. Well, old man, I'll see you later, said Chris, starting to walk away. Yeah, I'll see you later, immortal beast, said the old man, and Chris just looked at him over his shoulder and smirked, showing his feral eye growing and disappearing in the darkness. ORC room. Rias was sitting in her chair alone since everyone that left, and she stayed back to relax when she saw that a letter had appeared in her desk with the Gremry symbol in it, which meant that it was important. Rias went to open to see the content, and it was a letter. Dear Rias Gremry, your meeting with your fiancé, Rise Phoenix, is going to take place in 2 months' time to find a way to find an agreement between both of you. Theodicus Gremry, your father. 3 months later. It was a Monday morning and we could see our blonde hero coming out of this apartment with a bento box on hand and making his way to another boring day of school. It had been 3 months since he went to the familiar forest and meet Yami in it. After that he formed a contract with her and got to know her more, and he also spent time with Rainier and Calawarner, and got to know them on a deeper level, and he also told them about his origin and about Rayleigh. Flashback. Naruto was sitting on the living room reading a book. He was reading a book that was called Touching Spirit Bear, a good book I recommended, which he bought from the bookstore. Naruto-kun, where do you come from? Asked Rainier, walking into the living room with 2 cups of tea in hand with Calawarner, who was behind her. Naruto just closed his eye and leaned his head back, remembering his time in the Elemental Nation. Girls, take a seat, I'm going to tell you from where I really came from, said Naruto, closing the book and putting it aside. And you too, Yami. Come out, you need to know this too, said Naruto, as Yami came out from his shadow, revealing the black saber-toothed tiger. What do you mean by from where you really come from? Asked Calawarner, taking a seat next to Rainier, who sat at the couch. I'm not from this world, said Naruto, confusing the fallen angels. You're not from Earth. Are you from the underworld or heaven? Asked Rainier, confused. No, I'm not from neither, said Naruto, confusing the girls more. Naruto noticed that they were confused. I'm from another dimension, far from this dimension, said the blonde, pulling out his ninja headband out of his pocket. I'm from a world where people can use chakra in their everyday life, said the blonde, stopping for a minute. Then how you came to this dimension? Asked Rainier. I was in a fight with the mother of all chakra, Kagaya Otsutsuki, the rabbit goddess, said Naruto, shocking the girls at the revelation of Naruto fighting a goddess. I had a battle with her for 3 days straight nonstop. At the end, I managed to seal her away to save my world, but in the process there was an explosion that caused a black hole to be created, and I got sucked into it, and passed out from the battle, and next time I knew I was thrown from the sky into his world, finished Naruto. The girls were quiet for 1 minute, trying to comprehend what they learned about the blonde in front of them. Calawarner was the first one to snap out of her shock and looked at Naruto. How long have you been here? I've been in this world for 3 years, answered the blonde, taking a sip of his tea. Warner just nodded. Rainier snapped out of her shock state look at Naruto and asked him, "You said that you could use chakra, right?" "Yeah, I used to but not anymore," said Naruto, putting the teacup on the table. "What do you mean by that?" asked Warner curiously. "My chakra system was damaged in the explosion, but I can use a bit of chakra," answered Naruto. "Then what was that intimating presence that I felt when I meet you?" asked Rainier, remembering the presences. "Oh, that," Naruto trailed off, then go interrupted by Yami. "Naruto-sama, do you think is good to tell them about that?" asked Yami, looking at her master. "Don't worry, Yami. I trust them," said Naruto with a smile. Yami just nodded. "The presence you felt, Rainier, was the Supreme King," said Naruto. "The Supreme King?" said Warner. "Yeah, the Supreme King is the strongest being in this world and Naruto-sama is the host of him," answered Yami, shocking the fallen angels. "The strongest being?" said Rainier. "But I thought that the strongest beings were Great Red and Ouroboros dragon," said Warner, confused. "That's not true because the Supreme King can beat Great Red and the Ouroboros dragon together," said Yami, surprising the fallen. "You're saying he is far stronger than them?" asked Warner, shocked. "Not only that, and still take the faction by himself," said Yami. "And he is inside Naruto," said Rainier, looking at Naruto. "Yes, he is inside Naruto-sama," answered the saber-toothed tiger. "What abilities did you get from having him inside you?" asked Warner, curious of what abilities Naruto have. "Well, I'm able to use Haki," said Naruto. "What is Haki, Naruto-kun?" asked Rainier. "Well, Haki is fighting spirit, presence, and intimation. With Haki I can coat any body part with armor," said Naruto, lifting his arm and using armament Haki to coat. "This is called armament Haki, is basically like armor, and at the same time it enhances my hits," said the blonde, changing his arm back to normal. "The other ability I can use with Haki is to sense my enemy next move or how many they, and if trained well I can see a bit into the future," said Naruto. "And the last ability I can use it to intimidate others," said Naruto, letting out a bit of intimation out and making the girls sweat. "But I think that there is more that I can but I haven't unlocked." "Those are some interesting abilities, Naruto-kun," said Warner, still surprised at Naruto's abilities. Naruto just nodded. Flashback and Naruto also found out by accident that Rias was engaged to some she didn't love, and he promised himself to free her from that engagement because he didn't like the idea of marrying someone you don't love. Naruto was making his way to school and was thinking of his childhood and how bad it was, and he also had spent time with Kaneko, Akino, and Rias, but Rias was putting more attention to Issei than the other. Right now Naruto was walking to school in deep thought. "Naruto-sama, are you okay?" asked Yami from his shadow. "Yeah, I'm fine, just remembering bad memories," answered back Naruto. "And don't call me Naruto-sama," said Naruto back. "Okay, Naruto-sama," said the saber-toothed tiger. Naruto face-palmed and kept walking to another day of school. Kuoh front gate. Naruto was making his through the front gate. He saw that Tsubaki Shinra and decided to go talk to her since he hadn't talked to her. "Good morning, Tsubaki," greeted the blonde. Hearing her name, Tsubaki turned around to see that it was Naruto. "Good morning, Uzumaki-san." "Just call me Naruto, I don't like formalities," said the blonde. The raven-haired girl just nodded. "How has your morning been, Tsubaki?" asked Naruto, walking beside her. "It has been good, Uzuma Naruto. How has yours been?" asked Tsubaki. "It's been uneventful," said Naruto, putting his hands on the back of his head. "That's good to know," said Tsubaki, walking with Naruto. "Tsubaki, do you have a crush on Kiba?" asked Naruto out of nowhere, making Tsubaki stop on her track and blush. "I thought so," said Naruto, rubbing his chin. "I know that type of looks," said the blonde, walking towards her and stopping in front of her. "How did you find out?" asked Tsubaki with her head down. "I saw the look you had in your eyes when you looked at Kiba on the night of the full moon when you guys came to see Rias," answered Naruto. "But I thought that you had a headache," said Tsubaki, confused. "Yeah, I had a headache but managed to see your eyes that were shining that held restrained love," said Naruto, putting his hand on Tsubaki's shoulder. "Have you told him how you feel?" asked Naruto. "Yes, I have told him how I feel, but he doesn't feel the same way. He views me as a friend," said Tsubaki, tearing up. Naruto lifted Tsubaki's head to look at and saw that she was crying and felt bad seeing so. Naruto whipped Tsubaki's tears away with his thumb. "Don't cry, Tsubaki. Tears don't look good on your pretty face," said Naruto, making Tsubaki blush at the compliment. "I have felt the same way that you feel for Kiba, but for me, it was a girl that was in love with my best friend. I never got to tell her how I felt for her," said Naruto, remembering her old teammate. "If you ever need to talk to someone about it, I'm here to listen to you," said Naruto, looking at Tsubaki in the eyes. Tsubaki just nodded, and at the moment something awoke inside of Tsubaki. "Alright, Tsubaki-chan, I'll see you later. I have to go to class or else Sona will kill me," said Naruto, running towards his classroom. Tsubaki was just standing looking at Naruto running towards his classroom with a smile on her face. "Naruto Uzumaki, I think I see what Sonobucho sees, and you thought Tsubaki making her way towards her classroom with a bright smile on her face. Lunchtime. Lunchtime came and we could Naruto seating in his usual spot sitting by the window, but this time he wasn't sleeping. He was reading his book with his headphones on, listening to Hotel California and calmly reading when he was a tap in the shoulder by someone. Turning around he saw that it was Kaneko with her bento box on hand. Naruto took his headphones off. Hi Kaneko-chan, what brings you here? Asked Naruto, wondering what the petite girl was in this classroom. Kaneko just waved and pointed towards her bento box. You want to eat with me? Asked Naruto with a brow raised. Are you sure you want to eat with the delinquent of Kuoh? Asked Naruto. Don't care about the rumors, I know who you are, said Kaneko with her usual stoic voice. Sure if want, said Naruto, closing his book and putting it away and getting his bento box out. Naruto notices that Sona wasn't in the classroom eating with him, and just shrugged it off, thinking she had things to do in the council offices. What made you want to eat with me? Asked Naruto to the petite girl that was sitting next to him. Don't know, just want to eat with you, said Kaneko, eating her lunch. Naruto just shrugged and kept eating his lunch. That when Sona came through the door and saw Naruto eating with Kaneko. Sorry Naruto-kun for coming in late, said Sona, seating in front of Naruto. I had things to take care in the council office. It's okay Sona-chan, I thought as much that you would be doing things in the office, said Naruto. Then Akino came in. Naruto-kun, you're eating without me, said Akino, faking being hurt. Not really, I just started to eat. I hadn't noticed it was lunchtime until Kaneko-chan and tapped me on the shoulder to eat with me, said Naruto, finishing his bento. I see, said Sona, opening her bento box to eat, and Akino doing the same. Oh yeah, Naruto-kun, we're having a meeting on Friday after school, said Akino, digging into her lunch. Okay Akino-chan, said Naruto, putting his bento away and pulled a cola can and a bar of chocolate and offered some to Kaneko and the others because he knew that the white-haired girl liked candy. You want some, Kaneko-chan? Asked Naruto, pointing the chocolate bar towards her. Kaneko nodded and took a piece of it, and ate it, and had a blissful expression of how delicious it was. I knew you liked it, said Naruto with a smile. And you girls want some? Asked Naruto to Akino and Sona. The girls took a piece and ate it. After that, they had a typical lunch talking about things. Then lunch came to an end and Kaneko had to go back to her class and the others to their spots. After school, Naruto was sitting his chair reading his book when the rang telling the students to leave. Naruto was still reading because he had his headphones on, and didn't hear the bell, so Sona went to tap him on the shoulder. Naruto turned around and saw that it was Sona and his classmates had left already. Naruto took off his headphones and closed his book. Did school already ended? Asked Naruto, putting his book on his bag. Yes Naruto-kun, the bell rang 5 minutes ago, said Sona, adjusting his glasses. Thank you for snapping me out of my reading, said Naruto, putting his school bag over his shoulder. Sona just nodded. Well Naruto-kun, I'll see you tomorrow. I have things to do in the office. Have a nice afternoon, said Sona, getting her stuff and leaving. Naruto nodded and left to go to the club. ORC room. Naruto came in the club to see Kaneko and Kiba in their usual spot, and Issei was bragging like usual with Asia behind him. Naruto went to a seat next to Kaneko and put his headphones on and started to listen to My Life Be Like, and closed his eyes to relax a bit and wait for Rias to see. What are they going to do? A few minutes had passed since Naruto closed his eye and he sensed someone coming, and opened his eyes to see that Akino had come with a tray of tea. Would you like some tea, Naruto-kun? Asked Akino with the tray of tea next to her. Yeah, Akino-chan, that would be lovely, said Naruto, taking his headphones off. Akino served Naruto some tea and handed to him. Hope you enjoy the tea, said Akino with a smile. Naruto nodded and took a sip of the tea. The doors opened and through them came Rias. She went and took a seat at her desk and put some papers away. Alright guy, today we're training more. Kiba, Akino and Kaneko train Issei and Asia, and as for you Naruto, you can study on the devil history, said Rias, giving her instruction and making Naruto to grunt and get up. Leave. I'll go to work, said Naruto, leaving the room and leaving his bag behind. Kaneko went to grab it and looked at it, and saw the address of his apartment. What you got there, Kaneko-chan? Asked Akino, noticing that the petite grabbed something. Naruto left this school bag behind, said the white-haired girl, pointing at the bag in hand. Does it have Naruto's address in it, since I don't know where he works or lives? Asked Akino. It had his address, answered Kaneko. Good, we can go and give it to him after we're done training Issei and Asia, said Akino. Kaneko just nodded and placed Naruto's bag with hers in a safe place. With Naruto. Naruto was walking through the park going to his work when he saw a familiar blonde loli. He went and talked to her. I see you managed to survive, Millet, said Naruto. Yes, I managed to survive thanks to you, said Millet, turning around reviling the other fallen angels that were working with Dohnaseek. Flashback. Church. After saving Asia, Naruto had left the church after Akino and Rias had arrived. Naruto was walking through the forest making his way to his house, then he heard a sound coming from the bushes. On instinct, he got on his fighting stances. Though the bushes came out a blonde girl with a torn-up red dress and badly injured. The girl collapsed on her feet, falling backward. Naruto quickly rushed to her side. "Hey, what happened to you?" asked Naruto, inspecting the girl's injuries. "Hey, stay with me," said Naruto, seating her up, and felt a feather and turned to see what he touched, and it was a black wing with feathers. "You're a fallen angel," said Naruto. The girl just nodded weakly. "Father, I want to go back to you," said the blonde girl weakly. "I guess Dohnaseek promised you the same thing as the other two," said Naruto, lifting the girl up and seating her on a trunk of a tree. "Tell me something. Were you forced by someone to take the girl's sacred gear?" asked Naruto in a serious tone. "Yes, Dohnaseek was given orders by someone to take that girl's sacred gear, and in exchange for helping him, he will return us to heaven with Father," said the blonde girl weakly and crying. Naruto nodded, believing her since he didn't sense any deception in her eyes. Naruto placed his palm on her head and sent some of his chakra that he had left, healing her from any injury and making him dizzy. The fallen girl felt as every injury and pain she had were gone in an instant, and felt a hand in her head and saw that it was coming from the blonde stranger that healed her. "Why did you heal me?" said the blonde fallen angel, looking at the blonde stranger in front of her. "I didn't sense any deception in you, so I decided to heal you," said Naruto, taking to check his breath and sweating profusely. The Naruto fell to his knees trying to catch his breath. The blonde girl immediately went to check on her savior. "Hey, are you okay?" asked the fallen angel. "Yeah, I just need to rest. Healing you took a lot from me. I just need to rest," reassured Naruto with a smile. "First things you need to get out of here," said Naruto. "Why?" asked the blonde girl. "They think you're dead, some you need to stay out of the radar," said Naruto. The blonde girl just nodded. "But first, I Millet am indebted to you," trailed off Millet. "Naruto Uzumaki. I'll repay my debt to you, Naruto Uzumaki," said Millet, flying away to the dark sky. Naruto just stood seated in the grass looking at the moon with a smile, glad that he could save someone but costing him the little amount of chakra he had. Flashback end. "I see that you're doing well since last time I saw you, Millet," said Naruto, taking a seat on a bench. "Yes, I've been doing well thanks to you, Naruto-kun," said Millet with a smile and taking a seat next to him. "How you been doing?" asked Naruto. "I've been doing well. I have an apartment and a job, living life like a human," said Millet. "That's good to know," said Naruto, getting up from the bench. "Well, it was nice seeing you, Millet, and I'm glad you're doing well, but I have to leave. I had to go to work," said Naruto. "It was nice seeing you too, Naruto, and I still haven't forgotten about my debt to you," said the blonde girl, getting up. "You don't owe me nothing, I did it out of my free will," said Naruto. "I'm in debt to you because you saved my life, and I don't care if you say no, I will in debt, okay," said Millet, leaving. Naruto just stood there looking at Millet's figure leaving. Are all the fallen angel like that? Thought Naruto, shrugging, and made his way to work. A few hours later, Kaneko and Akino were done training Issei in Asia, so decide to go and drop off Naruto's bag to his apartment. Right now Akino and Kaneko was standing in front of a tall building. "Is this the place, Kaneko-chan?" asked Akino. Kaneko just nodded. "Alright then, let go drop this off," said Akino, pointing to the bag she had on her hand. Both girls stepped inside the building and went to the reception and asked for Naruto's room number. Naruto's room is on the 10th floor, and the room number was 1013. So the girl took the elevator and pressed the button of the 10th floor and went up. A few minutes later Akino and Kaneko were on the 10th floor looking for room 1013. After some searching they found the room and they decided to knock the door. The door opened and through it came Rainer, thinking it was Naruto. "Oh, Naruto-kun, you're home," said Rainer, then realized who was standing in the door. "What do we have here?" said Akino with an amused look. With Naruto. Naruto had come out of work early since there weren't that many customers, so Claus let him go home early. We could see Naruto walking to his apartment/house with his headphones on. He was listening to some chill tunes while making his way home. Minutes later Naruto came into the building where his apartment was in. He came in and waved at the receptionist who was kind to him, then he went take the elevator. A few minutes later Naruto was on the 10th floor and went straight down the hall and took a right, and the door to his apartment was in front of him. He opened the door and said "I'm home" and took his shoes off. He went to the living room and saw Akino, Kaneko, Warner, and Rainer sitting in the living room. Naruto was taken by surprises because he didn't expect to see Akino and Kaneko in his apartment. "What are you doing here, girls?" asked Naruto, confused. "You forgot your school bag in the club room, and Kaneko-chan saw that it had your address, and we came to drop it off," answered Akino with a smile. "Oh yeah, I had forgotten my bag, thanks for bringing it here," said Naruto. "Naruto-kun, why are these girls here?" asked Akino with a sickly sweet voice, making shiver go down Naruto's back. About that Naruto was interrupted by Rainer and Warner. "We are his servants, and he is our master," responded the girls, making Naruto to facepalm. "I told you, girls, to not call me your master," said Naruto. Era, Naruto-kun, I didn't know you were into those types of things, said Akino with lustful voice. It's not like that, let me explain what happened, said Naruto, then proceeded to tell Akino and Kaneko what happened. A few minutes later, then 3 weeks later, they came knocking on my door, and telling me that they're indebted to me from sparing their lives, and they have been living with me for the past 3 months, said Naruto, finishing his explanation to why are they 2 fallen angels living with him. I see, that explains everything, said Akino, with Kaneko nodding in agreement. Am I right to sum that they're the ones who are making your bento box for the last 3 months? Asked Akino. Yes, these 2 girls make my bento box every day and they're pretty well, said Naruto. Then fallen angels smiled at the complaint their master gave them. Akino looked around her and saw that this apartment was big enough for a family. Wow, Naruto-kun, your apartment is big enough for a family, said Akino. It was gifted to me by a friend of mine, said Naruto, remembering the time that Chris found him in the streets. Flashback 3 years ago. It was a lovely night for a man walking through the empty street of Kuoh. The man that was walking through the empty street was wearing both black and charcoal suit that features both slim notch and regular notch lapels with monochromatic clothing. Underneath, the men passed by an alley and heard some noises coming from the alley and stopped to see what was happening. The men stepped in the alley curiously and found a very weak and pale blonde boy seating in the ground with his back towards the wall. Hey kid, are you okay? Asked the men, kneeling down to take a look at the blonde boy. The boy didn't answer and he was looking more and weaker than he was, and that's when he heard a rumble coming from the blonde's stomach. I guess you haven't eaten anything by the way you're looking, said the men, picking the boy up and getting him out of the alley, and took him somewhere to get him something to eat. The men had arrived at a ramen shop. Old man, I need your help, said the men, calling the owner of the shop. The old man came out of the shop and saw the men and the boy he had on his arms. Chris, what happened to him? Asked the old man to the now named Chris. I was coming from getting everything set up to move when I passed by an alley and I heard a noise and I decided to take a look and found this boy in the ground passed out. Take him in the back room, I get him something to eat, said the old man, and Chris just nodded and took Naruto to the back room. Minutes later the old man came with a bowl of noodles. Red, I think he has him inside, said Chris, looking at the old man with a serious look. Yeah, I think the same, I can sense him inside him, said Old Man Claus. We need to take care of him, said Chris. But I'll be leaving to Canada to take care of some things, said Chris. I'll watch over him, said Claus, looking at the blonde boy. Are you sure, Red, or should I call you Claus? Asked Chris. The same goes for you, Trihexa, said Great Red. Fine, you win, but seriously are going to watch over him? Asked Chris. Yes, and besides I feel that his boy is going to be interesting, said the old man. Chris just nodded. Should we wake him up? Asked Chris. Yes, he needs to eat, said Claus, lightly shaking Naruto to wake him up. After a few moments Naruto opened his eyes. Where am I? Asked Naruto weakly. You're in my ramen shop after this man brought you here, asked the old man, pointing at Chris. You good kid? Asked Chris. No, I very hungry, said Naruto. Then is a good thing that I made some ramen, asked Claus, picking the bowl of ramen and offering it to Naruto. Naruto took it without thinking and ate it with gusto. Kid, were you on that alley? Asked Chris curiously. Naruto finished the bowl of noodles and asked Claus for more. I was on that alley because I don't have a place to in, said Naruto. Chris just looked at Naruto and made a decision. A few minutes later. What is your name, kid? Asked Chris after Naruto was done eating. The name is Naruto Uzumaki, said Naruto. Okay Naruto, come with me, you're staying in my apartment tonight, said Chris, getting up and paying Claus for the 15 bowls of ramen that Naruto ate. Naruto just followed Chris to his apartment, which was in a luxurious building. After going up the elevator and finding the room, Naruto made his way in the apartment and looked around, and he was amazed by the size of the apartment. Chris went to his room and got a pair of underwear, shorts, and a shirt for Naruto. He came out of his room with the items in hand and gave them to him. Go take a shower, said Chris. Naruto went to the bathroom to take a bath and get rid of his torn-up orange jumpsuit. A few minutes late, Naruto had come out of the bathroom with the new clothes that Chris gave him. Naruto heard noises coming from the living room and decided to check it out, and came out to be the living room. In the living room, Chris was watching TV, and that's when Naruto walked into the living room. Feeling better, said Chris, turning off the TV. Yeah, thanks for the clothes, said Naruto, thanking Chris. Don't worry about it, kid, said Chris. Then he took a serious tone. Do you have a place to live? Asked Chris. Naruto looked down and said, unfortunately I don't have a place to live. Chris nodded and made a decision. You can stay in my apartment, said Chris, surprising Naruto. Naruto couldn't make a word for 1 minute straight, after getting over the shocking state he was in, and spoke. Are you should? We just meet like an hour ago, and you're offering me to stay in your apartment, said Naruto. Yes, I'm sure of it, said Chris, nodding. Why? Asked Naruto. I'm going out of the country, and if I leave I would have to sell this apartment, and I just found you that has nowhere to live, answered Chris. And if I stay, how am I going to pay the bills? Asked Naruto. You can look for a job and earn money to pay the bills, said Chris. Then he had an idea. You can ask the old man to hire you to work in the shop, said Chris. Naruto couldn't decide and he was about to speak, and that's when Chris's phone started to ring. I have to take this call, said Chris, answering the phone and walking to his room. Naruto was just sitting in the sofa. Think of Chris's offer, if he should take it or decline it. A couple of minutes passed and Chris walked out of his room and took a seat on the couch. Have you decided? Asked Chris. No, I haven't. I need time to think about, said Naruto. Chris just nodded and said, fair enough, you can give me your decision tomorrow. You can sleep in the room next to me. I have to go to sleep. I have things to do tomorrow, said Chris, getting up and walking to his room to go to sleep. Naruto was sitting in the living room for a while, then got up and went to the room that Chris told him he could sleep. Naruto walked into the room and it was a plain normal room with a bed, desk, lamp, and a TV. Yawning, Naruto decided to go to sleep. It's been 3 days since I came to this world and I haven't had a good sleep in a normal bed, said Naruto, laying down, and immediately passed out. Next day, Naruto woke up feeling better than the last couple of days. He got up from the bed and went to the living to give Chris his answer to his offer. Naruto noticed that Chris wasn't in the apartment, and that the front door opened and through it came Chris with bags of clothes. Chris saw that Naruto was awake. Oh, you're awake, good morning, said Chris, walking to the living room and placing the bags down. Good morning, replied Naruto back. I got you some clothes, said Chris, pointing to the bags. Thank you, said Naruto, walking to the bag and grabbing one of them and pulling the content, and saw that it was an orange shirt that fit him perfectly. Naruto went to, tried it all, and they all fit him perfectly. He came back to the living room dressed in an orange shirt and black shorts. He went to take a sit on the sofa. So have you made your decision? Asked Chris. Naruto nodded and said, I accept your offer. Chris nodded. Very well, said Chris, pulling something and giving it to Naruto on this hand. Naruto opened his hand and saw that it was the keys to the apartment, and looked at Chris. It's your apartment now, said Chris. I already paid the whole apartment, and changed everything to your name, said Chris. Wait, what you mean you paid the apartment? Asked Naruto, confused. Chris just smiled. You don't need to pay every month for the rent, you only have to pay the light, gas, and water bills, said Chris. Naruto was surprised again at his kindness for him, to go and offered his apartment, and pay it off for him, a stranger, which was too kind for him. Oh, and I already asked the old man if he can give you a part-time job at the shop, and he agreed. You just need to go and see him, said Chris. Naruto didn't know how to thank him. He was at a loss of words. The day for Naruto with Chris went on. They went to see him and to enroll Naruto in Kuoh since it had turned co-ed. Flashback end. Naruto-kun, are you okay? Asked Rainer, worried about Naruto because he hadn't answered to his name for the past minute. Naruto blinked, then blinked again, snapping out of his thought, and notices that everyone is looking at him. Naruto-kun, are you okay? Asked again Rainer. Naruto looked at Rainer's worried face and said, yeah, I was just in deep thought. Rainer nodded. Then Naruto looked at Akino and Kaneko and smiled. The rest of time they stayed there and talked about the training they did, and how was Naruto's work. A few hours later, Naruto and the girls had stayed in the living room talking to each other. Then the time came when Akino and Kaneko had to leave. Well, Guy, it was talking to you, but unfortunately we have to go, said Akino, getting up, and Kaneko did the same. Naruto looked out the window and saw that I was getting dark. Let me walk you home, said Naruto, standing up. Era, Naruto-kun, that would be lovely, but I'm fine. How about you, Kaneko-chan? Asked Akino to the petite girl next to her. Same, said Kaneko in her monotone voice. In sight, said Naruto, getting the girls to smile for his kindness. No, Naruto-kun, but thanks for worrying about us, said Akino. Fine, you win, said Naruto, putting his head down, and that's when Yami came out of his shadow. Naruto-sama, I could walk them home, said Yami, sitting down in front of Naruto. You could walk them home, but there are 2 of them, and you're only one, said Naruto, confused. Yami just smiled, and then out of her body another Yami come out. Then there were 2 Yamis sitting in front Naruto. Naruto was eye-widened with the rest of the girls. I didn't know you could do that, said Naruto, recovering for the surprise. There's more that I could, Naruto-sama, said one of the Yamis. The other Yami just nodded. Is it a clone? Asked Naruto, looking at the 2 Yami in front of him. We're still the same one. I just divide my body, said the Yamis at the same time. Naruto just nodded and looked at Akino and Kaneko and nodded. Fine, you can walk them, Yami, said Naruto, and Yami nodded, and went to their shadow and got in them. Naruto walked Kaneko and Akino the entrance of the building. Thank you, Guy, for bringing my school bag, said Naruto with a foxy smile. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, the one who found your school bag was Kaneko-chan, and she wouldn't let go of it, said Akino, making the petite girl to blush and turn her head away to hide her blush. Naruto kneeled down to Kaneko's level and patted her head. Thank you, Kaneko-chan, I own you one. I'll get you some chocolate next time, said Naruto, ruffing her head. Kaneko just nodded. Then Akino and Kaneko left to their house and Naruto walked back to his apartment. With Akino. Akino was walking with a smile to her house. I guess I shouldn't tell Rias but the fallen angels that are living with Naruto-kun, thought Akino. Yes, that won't put Naruto-sama in any problem, said Yami to Akino, mentally surprising Akino and making her to look around. Relax girl, it's me Yami. I'm speaking from your shadow to your mind, said Yami to calm Akino down. So you're inside my shadow? Asked Akino to the saber-toothed tiger that was inside her shadow. Yes, replied back Yami. Akino-san, I was wondering something about you, said Yami. What is it? Asked Akino. Do you have feelings for Naruto-sama? Asked Yami in her mind. Akino was just quit for a moment in deep thought and replied back. Yes, I have feelings for Naruto-kun, said Akino. I thought so, but you're not the only one that has romantic feeling for Naruto-sama, said Yami. Akino just smiled and thought back. I know Yami-chan that Naruto-kun has many girls who love him, but I'm willing to share him as long as he loves them equally. Yami didn't said nothing back and stayed quiet the rest of the way guarding Akino. With Kaneko. Kaneko was walking to her house munching on some snack with her usual expression. You surely like to eat candy, said a voice in her head. Kaneko stopped on her step and looked around to find the source of the voice, and she heard the voice again. Relax girl, it's just me Yami speaking through your shadow to your mind, said Yami. Kaneko relaxed and kept walking to her home. Does Naruto-sama know that you're a Nikomata? Asked Yami, making Kaneko to tense up. How you that I'm a Nikomata? Asked Kaneko. I can smell the scent of Hellcat coming out of you, said Yami. No, I haven't told him about me being a Nikomata, said Kaneko. Is it because you're afraid of being rejected by him? Said Yami. Kaneko just nodded. I thought so. Don't be afraid of being rejected by Naruto-sama. You know that Naruto-sama trusts you, right? He told you where he comes from. Why would he reject you? Asked Yami. Kaneko was quiet for a few seconds then spoke. I'll tell him next time I see him alone. Yami just not that Kaneko could see her. Now next thing's in hand. Do you have feelings for Naruto-sama? Asked Yami. Kaneko blushed at the question and put her head down to hide her blush. I knew it, said Yami. Kaneko didn't said nothing and just kept quiet with her blush full blown. Stop denying your feelings towards him, said Yami, trying to get the answer from the white-haired girl. Okay fine, I do love him, said Kaneko, revealing her true feeling for Naruto. Yami just grinned and said, you know there's more girls that love him too. Yes, I do that there is more, but I will love him either way, said Kaneko. Yami just smiled and kept quiet the rest of the way. Next day, Naruto was awoken by a ray of sunlight that hit him right in the eye and he had to wake up. Naruto got up and went to the living room to see if the girls were there, but all he found was a note that say, Naruto-kun, Kala Warner-chan and I are going to be out for the morning, feel free to eat it without us. Rainer. Naruto placed the note down and walked to the kitchen and found a beautiful young woman that appears to be in her early 20s wearing a blue and white French maid outfit with long sleeves and a white maid headband. Naruto immediately got on guard and said, Who are you? The maid turned around and said, Pardon my intrusion, Naruto-sama. I'm Graphia Lucifuge and the head maid of the Gremory house. I was sent here to get by the order of Sir Search Lucifer, finished the maid. Naruto, dumbstruck at the beauty of the maid in front of him, that he nearly didn't hear her speak, then heard that she was sent by someone that wanted to see him. You're here for me? Asked Naruto curiously. Yes, Naruto-sama, responded the silver-haired maid. What does Sir Search want me for? Asked Naruto, knowing who was Sir Search Lucifer. I'm not sure, Naruto-sama. Then the only thing I know is that you have to come with me to the underworld, said Graphia. Alright, let me get dressed, said notice his lack of clothes. Naruto went to his room and got change. A few minutes later he came out wearing a zip-down green jacket that had fur on its hood, and the jacket reached down passing his hips by 3 inches, with a white shirt under the jacket and blue jeans. Alright, let go, said Naruto, walking towards Graphia. She started to create the magic circle to teleport them to the underworld. Naruto and Graphia appeared in a white mansion with big frames that were hanged in the walls. Would you kindly follow me, Naruto-sama? Said Graphia, starting to walk somewhere. Naruto followed Graphia for at least 10 minutes, and they stopped in front of 2 large wooden doors. Graphia went to knock on the doors and got to come in. Inside the room was Sir Search Lucifer, a carbon copy of Rias but in a male version. Sir Search-sama, I brought Naruto Uzumaki as you order, said Graphia, bowing down. Thank you for bringing him, Graphia, said Sir Search, then looked at Naruto and said, Thank you for coming to meet me, Naruto-kun. Naruto just nodded. Sir Search got up, went to take a sit on one of the couch that was in the side and motioned for Naruto to take a sit in the couch that was in front of his. Naruto went and took a seat, and through the door came Graphia with a tray that had tea in it. She poured tea to them and went to stand behind Sir Search. Well, Naruto-kun, do you know who I am? Asked Sir Search. Yes, Sir Search Lucifer, one of the 4 devil leaders and big brother of Rias Gremory, said Naruto, making Sir Search to nodded. Do you know why I have sent for you? Asked the red-haired. No, replied Naruto back. I have sent for you to talk about how things are going in Kuoh, said Sir Search. Don't beat around the bush. Get straight to the point, said Naruto. Straight to the point, said Sir Search. Well, I have sent for you to talk about your sacred gear, said the current Lucifer. What about it? Said Naruto. You show not to have one, but the special piece that I gave Ryustan worked with you, said Surzurch. Yeah, I know, said Naruto. Well, that evil piece that I gave my little sister was one set of evil pieces in one, said Surzurch. And it can only work in high-ranking devil, but somehow it chose you. Naruto just stayed quiet listening to what Surzurch was saying. And what does that mean? Asked Naruto. It means that you can get your own peerage anytime, answered Surzurch. Do you want to get now? Asked Surzurch. No, not at the moment, said Naruto. Surzurch nodded and told Grafia to take Naruto back to his apartment. Grafia took Naruto back to his apartment, and went back to the mansion. Grafia, what do you think of him? Asked Surzurch to his queen. He looks normal, said the queen. Yeah, but there is something he's hiding, said Surzurch. Yeah, he looks very calm for some reason, said the silver-haired maid. Surzurch nodded and went back to his desk to finish paperwork. You're very interesting, Naruto Uzumaki thought. The maid then went back to her duties. -3 days later. The last 3 days had gone by very quickly for Naruto Uzumaki. He would wake up and go to school and talk to Tsubaki in the way to class and eat lunch with Sauna, Akino, and Kaneko, and after school, and he would go to the ORC room to see what they were going to do. Rias would tell Kaneko, Kiba and Akino to train Issei, and that would piss Naruto off for some reason, and that's when he discovered that he had a crush on Rias. It was Friday and Naruto had skipped school to go work at the ramen shop with Claus. Naruto entered the shop and called for the old man. Old man, I'm here, said Naruto. Claus came out of the back room and greeted Naruto. Oh, Naruto, my boy, you're here. I thought that you had school today, said Claus, cleaning his hands with the coat. How that's the business been today? Asked Naruto, walking to the back room and laying his backpack on the ground and pulling his apron to start working. It's been the usual, said Claus, lighting his pipe on. Well, it's still too early for ramen, said Naruto, putting his apron on. That's true, my boy, said the old man with a smile. Naruto just laughed at the old man's antics. Yami opened her eyes because she sensed a strong presence, and she knew who it was, and it seemed to be coming from the old man that Naruto was walking to. But then the old man looked at Yami and he motioned to her to not say anything. A few hours later, the rest of the time went normal for Naruto and Claus. Then Naruto looked at the clock of the shop and remembered that the club had a meeting today. Old man, I have to go. I forgot that I had a club meeting and I'm later, said Naruto, taking off his apron and putting it inside his bag. You can leave, my boy. There are very little people in the shop, said Claus, letting Naruto go to his club meeting. Naruto nodded and took off to Kuoh Academy, occult research room. Naruto came through the door of the club room to find it empty, and he saw that Grafia was sitting in the couch. Grafia, what are you doing here? Asked Naruto curiously. Good afternoon, said Grafia. I'm here because Rias-sama had a marriage contract with Razor-sama, and Rias-sama decided to challenge him to get out and right now they're in a rating game, said Grafia. Naruto got angry. She believed so much in him that they didn't wait for me, thought Naruto with anger, and unconsciously releasing his conqueror's haki let out a wave of intimidation, causing Grafia to sweat at the wave of intimidation. Who is this boy? Mentally Grafia scared herself. Naruto regaining his composure and left the club room. Rias-sama, your wedding is within 1 week, said Grafia as she disappeared. Meanwhile, Rias had one thought in her mind that she would put into place tonight. This is the only way, she thought, looking at Issei with Naruto. Naruto was sitting in the roof of the club room smoking his pipe to calm down, and looking at the moon on top of him. She really believes that he could free her from her marriage contract, said Naruto, taking another drag from his pipe. Naruto heard someone landing behind him and knew who it was. You lost, didn't you? Said Naruto instead of asking. Akino walked over and sat next to Naruto. Yeah, Naruto, I'm sorry for not, Akino tried to say. Don't apologize, it's not your fault. Rias believed in Issei too much and ended up losing to Razor, said Naruto. Akino just put her head down and didn't say anything. I'll go talk to her, said Naruto, getting up and telling Yami to take him to Issei's house. Akino went to grab him by the shirt, but she was too late. Naruto disappeared rather quickly and leaving black smoke. The smoke cleared and behind it was a smoking pipe with engraving on it that said Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. Akino took of the tobacco that was left and put it away in her bag to go and drop off to his apartment. With Naruto above Issei's house, Naruto appeared in Issei's roof and looked at the moon, noticing how beautiful it looked. Using his observatory haki, he clicked his teeth as he found Rias in Issei's house right where he thought she would be. Jumping down, he appeared down by Issei's bedroom window and was about to open it when he heard something that shattered him completely. Issei called Rias desperately. Please take my virginity. She finished as Naruto opened the window and found Rias pinning Issei to the ground with her top undone. She looked up to see Naruto with a shocked look as Issei was too busy leering at her. Rias tried to explain herself only to see a pair of wings to burst from Naruto's back. She gasped as the pair of wings weren't that of a normal devil which they formed in the waist. These ones formed from his back. They looked like they were angel wings, but they were completely black with black smoke coming out of them, and they were a lot larger than the normal devil wings. She went to move only for Naruto to move away and fly away with a powerful flap of his new wings that causes a shock wave to form. She would have followed him if not for Graphia appearing behind her with a cold glare on her face, directed at the perv staring at Rias. Graphia, scold me later, please, you have to go find Naruto. He found me about to give Issei my virginity, and he just left, said Rias, as she knew that Graphia was interested in Naruto since his brother had told her that they met a few days ago and Graphia had taken a liking to him. The silver-haired maid took a small look of horror before she completely frizzed Issei. She gave Rias a stern look before she disappeared to try and find Naruto. Meanwhile, in the forest north of Kuoh, Naruto was flying through the air as dark energy was flowing out of him. Seeing an open field, he landed as the darkness continued to slow out of him. He felt anger, sadness, and betrayed. He grabbed his head as the darkness continued to flow in even greater amounts out of him. Akino and the others were flying around the area as they chased after being told by Graphia to find him. They felt an intimidation, dark presences coming from the forest on the north of Kuoh. Looking at Kiba, who was holding Asia in his hands because she hadn't gotten used to using her wings, and a worried Kaneko who usually wore her stoic face, she nodded to them as they all took off in the direction of the intimidating presences. Meanwhile, Naruto was on his hands and knees as his power had become too much to control. Hearing someone step into the clearing, he looked up, showing one of his eyes had turned feral looking. He saw it was a girl that had black hair that flows down to her hips, as dull gray eyes stared at him with a small speck of curiosity. She was wearing a set of clothes in which Naruto noted was that of a gothic Lolita fashion. She also had 2 X-shaped pieces of tape on her visible chest. Naruto called out to her to stay away as she stared at him, and walked closer. She ignored the wave of darkness that moved towards her only to miss completely. How is it being like yourself? One who has lost a lot of things. Suffered betrayal by your loved ones. One who has darkness that is raging to get out, still be sane, said the girl kneeling to Naruto's level. At this moment the power of the Supreme King fell overwhelming for you, said the girl, surprising Naruto that she knew how was the Supreme King. With that rage, aloneness, and sorrow inside you, you can unlock the rest of your power. Unlock the rest of my power. He gave a long pause as his power raged more. Yes, with as much rage, sorrow, and suffering you will be able to full it, and reach the final stage of your power, ordered the girl in front of Naruto. My rage, sorrow, and suffering is the key, thought Naruto, digging deep inside his mind, and remember the time he wasn't able to save Sasuke from being impelled by all-killing Ashbone. The time his sensei and father figure, Jiraiya the sage of Mount Myaboku, died after fighting his own student. The rough childhood he had, always alone. The only person that cared for him was old man Saratobi. Realizing his true feelings for Rias a couple of days ago, and seeing her about to give herself to Issei was the last straw for him. Knew he had to let all of his negative emotions out. He embraced them and let out. An explosion of darkness was created, and at the moment Naruto was dragged into his mindscape. Naruto opened his eyes to see that he was in his mindscape, and in front of him was Rayleigh laying down. It's seeing that you figured out how to unlock the other half of my power, said Rayleigh, getting up. Yes, it has to do with my negative emotions, said Naruto. Yes, and do you know why it had to do why your negative emotion? Asked Rayleigh. No, replied Naruto. As the supreme host, the one who is looking for peace in this world, one has to know both sides of the world, the dark and light side. The dark side is your darkness, and the light side is your Haki. To unlock my powerful you had to embrace your darkness, and make it part of you, said Rayleigh. Now let me ask you this question again, Naruto Uzumaki. Are you willing to save this world from the darkness that it has? Asked Rayleigh, sitting up. Naruto stood there thinking. He answered, and remember the friends he has and wants to protect. Naruto looked at Rayleigh and smiled. Do you remember the answer I gave you the first time? Asked Naruto, and Rayleigh nodded. Well, I still stand with the same answer. I, Naruto Uzumaki, will unite the faction and bring peace to his world, said Naruto with a foxy grin that made Rayleigh smile. Every good partner, I, Rayleigh the Supreme King, will help you in your journey, said the Supreme King, unlocking Naruto full power. Real world. Akino and her group along with Graphia appeared in the clearing as the smoke was clearing. In the middle of the clearing was Naruto standing, but his hair wasn't his usual blonde but only to darken to a darker shade than Akino's. He turned around to face them and his eyes had changed from their usual blue to a golden with a slit in it, and out of his body darkness was flowing out. Naruto swings his hand in a horizontal, causing a shock wave that came full force. Everyone, even Graphia, had to bring their arms up to cover their face, with Kaneko holding Asia as the shock wave seemed to try to push them away. Embrace my dark side, said Naruto. Then darkness came out of his body. The others were looking at Naruto in shock at his new look. Come with and I'll help you how to use your powers, said the girl next to him. Who are? Asked Naruto. I'm Ophis the Ouroboros dragon and I came to help you master your darkness/shadow power, said Ophis extending her hand. Why would you help me? Asked Naruto. Because you interest me. A being who suffered and still be sane, and you have him inside you, said Ophis, opening a portal. And you can help me master my power over darkness/shadows? Asked Naruto as she raised a hand and darkness came out of her. I'll take you to a place between worlds where you will be able to master your power and become stronger than you already are. All you need to do is raise your hand and grab mine. I will give a mark that will allow you to exist within it. For you had no form of magic protection, you would be ripped apart by the nothingness within. This mark is used from my own energy since I was born in that place, and it is where I will help you become stronger, she said as Naruto raised his hand toward her own. Both walked towards the portal, though stopping shortly. Naruto looked at them and said, Tell Rias that after her wedding, I will no longer be part of her peerage. I want my own peerage so that I'm not tied down to her anymore. With those words spoken, Naruto left the clearing with Ophis. After a moment of silence, everyone stood there trying to comprehend what happened. The silence was broken by Asia started to sobbing. It's my fault because Rias-sama only trained us and not him, said Asia crying. That's not true, said Graphia. Graphia-sama, would you mind explaining what happened? Asked Kiba. Naruto had a crush on Rias-sama. He appeared at Hayato's room and went to talk with her, but the only thing he found was Rias-sama about to give herself to Issei. Naruto felt heartbroken, and that's what causes this to happen. I guess we can only wait to see what happens on the wedding day, said Graphia, explaining the disappeared to report the events to Surzurch. The other looked where the portal used to be. They all walked away. Kiba and Asia went to their houses. Akino and Kaneko went to Naruto's apartment to tell the girls what happened.